It's almost midday. Let me share this. We're going to get into some things or whatever. I want to say shout out to Brenden Poole. Shout out to Brenden Poole. What a guy, right? What a guy. What a guy. What a guy he is. Shout out to Brenden Poole, man. Give me 1 second, guys. Just give me 1 second, guys. Let's share this. Get everybody know I'm live. You know how it goes. Really. Like, y'all been with me for a minute now. Y'all know how get this out to a couple people. Y'all know how it goes. Just give me a second. I'll be right back. Now, just give me a second. If anything, if you want to take a second, come back. Unfortunately, here on YouTube, we got to do our own promotion. So, that's what we got to do. It's a tiring aspect of this app, but, it's got to be rocking out with me. Just give me a second, guys. Like I said, I'm sharing this. I'm going to also have another conversation as time goes on about Fat Joe, Ayla, and a couple other people, whatever. But real quick, before I talk about this Brenden Poole thing, and I think it's apparent that we talk about it, I really do. I want to talk about something that happened with Kanye, which I think is very unfortunate. And it goes to add into what I just said just yesterday. Now, I want y'all to hear this and listen to this. And this is regarding Kanye's recent appearance, which I thought was great. His recent appearance at Diddy's trial. So I want y'all to hear this. Kanye West loses his luxury vehicle in an embarrassing scene after Diddy backlash. Kanye West recently suffered an embarrassing fail after his vehicle was reportedly seized in Los Angeles. The controversial rapper has been receiving the end of fans' wrath after he showed up in support of Sean Diddy Combs, who is on trial for sex trafficking and racketeering charges. West appeared at the New York City courthouse where the case is ongoing. Now, days later, a six-figure asset was taken away from with no explanation. Okay. And what they're referring to is Kanye West's Maybach gets towed. On Tuesday, Kanye West's custom Maybach vehicle was seized in the parking lot of Chateau Marmont. The Donda Academy founder is a regular at a five-star hotel where A-listers in Hollywood often reside. Photos taken and shared offline show the chrome-plated luxury vehicle being placed on the back of a tow truck and taken away. One hotel staff member said could be seen standing by while the Maybach was being strapped onto the truck. The reason behind the seizure remains unknown. However, reports that it is known for having limited parking space problems. So it could have been illegal parking situation or more serious issues such as repossession of a luxury vehicle, which is reported to be worth around $450,000. Trust me when I tell you this. Kanye got more than $450,000. West Camp is yet to address the incident, and the towing company hasn't responded. 9 times out of 10, he was probably parked funny. That's the first thing I said. They say he's probably parked funny or whatever. But some people won't give up. Some people won't give up. So we're not just going to read from one publication, right? We're not going to do that. That's just crazy. Let's read this one too, because I want to talk about this Kanye stuff, because y'all know I'm a fan. First of all, you know what I'm saying, man. I can't even tell you where to begin when it go to Ye, Kanye. I'm gonna call him Kanye. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, his mama called him Kanye, so I'm calling Kanye. Remember that boy from that movie? His mama named Kanye, so I'm calling Kanye. I ain't do Kanye. So anyway, Kanye, you know what I'm saying? Remarkable artist, transcending artists, music that are parts of the instrumentation of not even a soundtrack thus far of my life, and many of different scenarios and cadence and moments or whatever. To this day, I remember the first time I ever heard Flashing Lights. To this day, I remember when the first time I heard the song Street Lights. To this day, I remember where I was the first time I heard New Slaves. You know what I'm saying? And the representation of New Slaves. A lot of people don't remember this. Kanye initially, he had projected the video on the side of buildings. Thank you, Jalen. Says, how you doing? He had projected the video on the side of buildings with a projector. This is how Kanye rolled out. the thing. Let's not forget Kanye was one of the few people I ever seen in my life that was rolling around with a floating stage for his audience. You understand what I'm saying? So, as always, I like to read counter arguments here from the crowds. Kanye West was dealing with an inconvenience of having his vehicle towed as a photographer snapped images of the Weber's custom Maybach being hauled away. First of all, that lets you know he can afford the $450,000. You know how? It's custom. New images obtained by the show the luxury car of the 48-year-old runaway rapper being put on the back of a tow truck and hauled away at the hotel. The venue where Saturday Night Live legend John Belushi tragically, isn't that crazy? The same restaurant he was at, John Belushi tragically overdosed in 1982. I can't make this stuff up. Y'all excuse my appearance, man. I just woke up a little while ago. I was tired. I'm good, Deb. Yeah, man, I'm good, brother. I'm trying to, man. I was going I wasn't going to show up today. You know what I'm saying? Somebody asked me that early. A little too fucking early, matter of fact. You know what I'm saying? But nah, I ain't going down there today. You know what I'm saying? Court will be over today at 1 o'clock if y'all don't know. I don't know how I knew this, but court will be over today at 1 o'clock. The bully artist was spotted by his partner, Bianca Sensori. Now, he was spotted with Bianca at the hotel, okay? So that leads clue to killing one lie that Tisa tells had said before. Oh, it's over for Kanye and Bianca. Bianca is on her way to file divorce. Bianca said this. Remember that Tisa tells? Oh, you remember that video, right? Talking about Kanye spoke to her. That was hilarious. Diddy now. Kanye spoke to you. Diddy now. You know when you hear something that's ridiculously funny, and you know somebody is lying, and this coincidentally, every time there's a star in the room, they're speaking to her, but this is the person maintained the best 48,000 views prior to the Diddy. Never been in the music business. Talks about this man's kids, talks about his wife, talks about his ex-wife, talks about his new endeavors, talks about how he's broke, and he waved at you. not, not to mention the other reason I know why he didn't wave at you. But anyway, I digress. After traveling to the New York City earlier this month to attend the trial of Sean Diddy Combs, he has had a professed support for publicly on multiple occasions. He has Indianapolis reached out to Kanye's wife, Yellanopolis. Yeah, he keeps somebody Greek around him. And that long live Dolph already, man. I hear you. Tow company is listed the sidetrack. So they saying the same thing, man. I mean, here, if y'all want to see a picture of it, they're talking about this car right here. You understand what I'm saying? And if I'm right, I think yeah, you got like 2 or 3 of these motherfuckers. If I'm right. But that's the joint right there. You understand what I'm saying? Ain't nothing big. It seemed like to me he was parked in the wrong place and they towed it. And multiple people are reporting pretty much the same thing. So it's nothing different than that. The problem I have is, and the biggest problem I have is, and I'm just going to sum this up because I want to get into this Brenden Paul thing. The biggest problem I have here is the fact that if you heard what I said correctly, they said that Kanye is facing backlash for showing up supporting Puff. Well, ain't that ironic? And that's why I started this out, because it's the same thing with me. See, this is America. You understand what I'm saying? And I have the right to go support whoever the hell I want to go support, especially if I worked with this person, or you're someone like Kanye that has ties with Puff from doing work with Puff previously and up to now. A lot of people don't even bring into effect. Puff went to go meet with Kanye at one of Kanye's concerts probably a year prior to him being arrested. Nobody knew nothing about that. This was during the conception of the Love album. You understand what I'm saying? He went to his concert, showed up, showed him love, everything like that. They had some freckles and here and there, whatever, but this is yay, man. This is an order. So anyway, long story short, you know what I'm saying? Stringer Bell had to come in here real quick. I had to take my position. I guess that's what I was meant to do. And I got to say to you, a lot of you people are out there and you're trying to coerce yourself, people. See, coercion, and a lot of people, they use that word when they refer to Puff, but coercion can be utilized by other people, by other means, not just sexually. See, coercion is you putting somebody under pressure financially and telling them, look, if you don't agree with us and the rest of the Yay Yay Vajay crew, if you don't agree with us and the rest of the sisterhood, if you don't agree with us and the rest of Me Too, and that goes for you, David Lewis, that goes for you, Kanye West, and that goes for any of them other knuckles that want to come down to the courtroom. You understand what I'm saying? We're going to fight against you. You understand? And I guess Kanye played kind of like, you know, we appreciate you. He kind of played the hero here. He said, you know what, I'll take the sacrifice. Socially, what are they gonna say to me? And I think he was the perfect person should go down there because he's been known for showing bravery prior to that. No matter how y'all want to put it out there, whatever. I'm not talking about the comments about the Israel. I'm talking about like all the way back. I remember when he said George Bush don't care about black people. Now we all found out that wasn't true. Actually, George Bush cared a lot about niggas. You know what I'm saying? That's not the point, and he proved that later on. But my point is this: I'm just saying. Us wanting to now cancel people because they don't support something you support, or us now wanting to cancel people because of the pure simple fact they don't go along with what your conclusion may be versus what the conclusion of the jury may be, is a problem in society. And it leads to people trying to be many tyrants and megalomaniacs. See, a lot of the things that a lot of these people are pointing at Puff about, they guilty of themselves. You're trying to coerce people into believing that not only should you, if you don't side with us, then there will be no reaps or rewards. If you don't side with us, the anti-Diddy crew, there will not be this, there will not be that. And I just find that disturbing. And I think you guys should find that disturbing too, because that leads on to a different type of behavior that can be actually pushed forward a little bit more. See, if you got somebody right now that's telling you who you can and who you can't support or whatever, that's un-American for one. Two, it's unconstitutional. Three, it's unlawful in many states and cities across this country, if you didn't know that or not. If you infringe on somebody's political or religious rights, there are consequences for that. Whether you do it digitally, whether you do it in person, or however you do it. You understand what I'm saying? And the extremes of how you do it. This is why I never infringe or promote. Don't go tell to this podcast or don't listen to this podcast. I say what I say about them and I leave it at that. But with a lot of these other people, what I'm noticing in the case of Ye, these people made this story up. Now, I'm willing to bet 90% of the time in LA, when your car gets towed out of a restaurant parking lot, 9 times out of 10, most of the time, like it's Kanye or the place that they go to, there's a lot of money to be made in that. Y'all don't know how those tow companies work in LA. Oh, they're vigorous motherfuckers right there. That's a whole shady. And do your Googles about LA tow companies and see what you find. Go ahead. Right now, somebody that's intelligent, go look up corruption with LA tow companies. Go ahead. Out in LA and other subsequent places, I've been out to LA enough times to know this. Out in LA or the TMZ 30 mile zone, they have a lot of luxury vehicles, more luxury vehicles than you'll ever see in the New York City area, more luxury vehicles than you'll ever see in Miami. Okay. And Miami and Texas are probably the only two competitions in Vegas. Excuse me. Vegas would be the other. You know what I mean? So, anyway, long story short, just like Miami and just like Texas, they have an industry that's a shade industry behind the industry. So what they do is you'll have hotels that'll be in on it. You'll have restaurants that'll be on it. Sometimes they won't be in on it. Sometimes it'll just be a scoping point. You understand what I'm saying? Or they'll sit by and they'll wait for somebody to make a complaint. The tow company comes in and they get a check for that. You understand what I'm saying? They get payment for towing that car or whatever the case may be, putting it on a hook, especially under the guise of legality. So legality, meaning like you went in a car crash, which that is still legality, but I mean like basic legality versus vehicular accidents and things like that. So like if you park somewhere illegally, if you double parked or whatever, and say you own a Bentley or you own a high-end Maybach that's custom and silver, like Kanye's, chances are they're gonna jump at the opportunity, not only because of what the car looked like, but who you are, which is more important. So if you jump in and you do these headlines and you allow somebody to be like, oh, well, Kanye West's car got repossessed. That means he doesn't have the $450,000 to pay for. Yeah, like Puff said, not guilty, make that money. It's not even about make that money. It's like his money only gets you so far. Ingenuity gets you far. Money only gets you so far. Remember, I told you that money only gets you so far. Ingenuity gets you furthest. So when I say this, man, I say this with all love. Shout out to Ye, man. You know what I mean? And shout out to Myron, all y'all. You know what I mean? Um, honestly and truthfully, I honestly and truthfully believe that this new form of cancel culture and being used specifically and I think purposely in many of cases, they already gearing up Fat Joe for the next one. They're like, all right, we done almost done with Pup. Let's gear up for Fat Joe now. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna find a different thing. Y'all trying to stem in on Fat Joe. Is nigga the niggas that fuck with Joe is different than the niggas that fuck with us. You know what I'm saying? I'm just letting you know. Niggas might not showing up for Puff like that, except for me and a couple other people, right? And it's some faces you won't even see. But, but with Joe, it's gonna be a different deal. You might get hurt out there fucking with Joe. I'm not saying directly from Joe, but I'm just saying you might get hurt out there if you plan on trying to do the same thing with Joe's shit. If it make it that far as you did with Puff, I'm trying to tell you, chances are you might get hurt out there. You're dealing with you're dealing with my crowd at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like Bad Boys the family, it was the family, it still is the family, 17 years for me. But you dealing with another segment of family. And this side of the family, they the rambunctious side of the family. You understand what I'm saying? Like if you don't know Joe's history, I implore you to look it up. You understand what I'm saying? Salud a la cubano, tú sabes, blanco. Blanco gordito. Mi hermano, tú sabes, pero en la barrio en Bronx. Nah, I don't do that weed shit, my nigga. Yo, let me pause you up on something real quick. What's his name? W. Belton. Listen, let me tell you why I don't do that weed shit, right? And this ain't nothing directly to you. I'm gonna tell you why I don't do that weed shit. First of all, yo soy la cubano la mareno. Tú sabes, yo soy en todo el americano, but yo soy diferente pero en la mente, tú sabes, claro. So when I used to do shit for, and I don't want to make this quick because I don't let it segue. I want to get into this Brenden Pool shit. When I do stuff for black people or have done stuff for black people, there's black people that still have jobs because of me and who I introduced them to or directly linked them to. I brought black people on national TV shows and I didn't have to do it. I've done editorials and everything like that for black people. And it's tons of black people that will validate this for you. I've been a great person all my life as far as helping out black people. But the moment I needed black people to help me, they turned their back on me. They made fun of me during the pandemic in New York City, made fun of me. Black women jumped online. I never thought that would be possible to black. I said, if anybody understand what I'm going through right now, it's got to be black women. They go through shit all the time. Plus, I didn't provided Christmases and shit for chicks. You know what I'm saying? So what I learned the past 2 years, stop using that we and that us and that they and that them and all these other little different signal words or whatever that whites use also amongst themselves. But what I don't like is when I get people that come in here and they say we da 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 da. And then you sit up and you see a cash app, won't hit the like button, won't purchase any products, anything like that. So ain't no we, it's me. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's me. You feel me? So I don't do that we shit. Cause that we shit, let me tell you something, bro. And I think you're a good man. Let me tell you something. Chances are, if you get into something outside in the street or something like that, most black people, they will walk right past you, will make fun of you or film you. Don't you ever get into that we shit no more. That we shit is dead, nigga. That shit was dead in the mid-90s something. You know what I'm saying? And I see a lot of older black folks trying to push that shit, talking about that we shit, us, and ain't no we and us, nigga. If there was a we and us, niggas would be more hesitant and more clever with their words with all these black commentators and major media. You understand what I'm saying? No. The major media is the same way as the YouTubers. I'm not your brother. I'm not your brother. Don't call me your brother. Don't call me your fucking we. Don't do none of that shit. I said, I don't do that we, us shit. And then he falls in love with my brother. I'm not your brother. You're not going to do nothing for me. Then let me tell you something. The ones that sit around and they say that, any nigga that start out their sentence with bro or my brother, I automatically don't trust them. I always find, they used to say the niggas that killed Malcolm X, they said the same thing to him before they started shooting him. You understand what I'm saying? The same niggas that were plotting on Malcolm X, they said the same thing. My brother, before they took him out, and it was plotting on taking him out. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't do that my brother shit. I don't do that we shit, that us shit. I'm way past that now. It's me. You understand what I'm saying? Me. You know what I mean? And ain't nobody gonna help me but me. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I even concluded even more. A lot of motherfuckers be up here and they be talking about, oh, he's a Diddy defender, whatever, whatever. I have sat on this channel and criticized this nasty motherfucker about 20 motherfucking times. You understand what I'm saying? But at the same time, this is the man I worked for 17 fucking years, and ain't nobody gonna send him up the fucking river if there ain't enough reason to send him up the river. And a whole bunch of hoes that admitted that they was busting down ain't enough. They was setting up their own freak-offs. That ain't enough. You understand what I'm saying? Or when we got today, the dude that y'all thought was going to be the be-all and see-all of everything, Brenden Poole. Now, this is the funny thing. You have to be very careful when you're on here and you're online. Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. Must have one of Tisa Tell's fans over here. Tisa Tell's fans, they like to go around flagging people. So if you say anything about Tisa Tell's, just know she's responsible for people flagging your page, okay? Just so you know. Tisa Tells and her fans, they flag people's pages and they go leaving messages or whatever. Bitch, don't say you don't, because I got the proof. I got the proof to prove it. You understand what I'm saying? But don't worry, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about a lot later. You know what I mean? There's one thing I don't do. I don't flag people's pages. I think that's some sucker shit. You know what I'm saying? But back to what I was saying here. They ain't no my brother, us, we, and them, or whatever. You fuck up and you a star, anybody on here, you turn into a star tomorrow, you mess up, they'll be right on you too. They'll be right on you too. You understand what I'm saying? So ever since that time, I got you. I go back since the Lyrics Lounge, same circles. I mean, it is what it is. I got history. You got history of the Lyricist Lounge. Don't nobody give a fuck about that shit, respectfully. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Lyricist Lounge, I ain't heard a nigga say that shit in years. You gonna find real quick with me, I don't pay homage to that bullshit. Like, you gotta understand, B. I came in a bad boy. Listen, I came in starting out trying to get with Violator. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Rob Love. You know what I'm saying? So I respect that Lyricist Lounge shit for that. You know what I'm saying? He now Def Jam, but I ain't end up being with Violator. You know what I'm saying? Which at the time was all black. You know what I'm saying? I remember My Son before My Son went to jail. We watched My Son go to jail. That's how far back I go. We watched My Son's trial. You understand what I'm saying? So that's how far I go back. So when I came to a close in 2016, 2017, and if you slow, articulate motherfuckers were paying attention, I've been telling y'all for years, I said, we came to a close. I've always said, especially my longtime subscribers, they know this. I said, we came to a close in like 2016, 2017. And there was many reasons behind that. One of the biggest reasons was Puff moved to California. You understand what I'm saying? Which he shouldn't have. I know this sounds selfish, but I wish to God you would have just bought a crib out there and not made your main headquarters out there for many reasons. I think like you missing New York is why you was back here so much. That's for one. You can't take New York niggas out of, you can take a California nigga and put him in New York, but you can't take a New York nigga and necessarily put him in California and it work out well. It just don't work out well. It's just like we're totally different than y'all are in so many ways in California. And that's respect. That's why I would never live out there, because I'd be like, I lose my mind. I can't go, what do you mean? I can't go get pasta bolognese. I can't go get fucking, I can't go get nothing. Like, what the fuck? I can't go get a scone. I can't go get fucking grape leaves, nothing. And I gotta have my grape leaves. If I don't have grape leaves, I lose my mind. But anyway, back to what I was saying. It's not that I don't respect that Lyricist Lounge shit and everything like that, but we talking about money-wise, man. I don't talk about all that symbolic shit. You know what I mean? Like, that symbolic shit don't mean nothing, because y'all don't even hold that shit at hold. That's why I said, like, all this nostalgia shit, and I don't do that nostalgia shit. I don't do that, yo, way back in the day, I was with such a, well, nigga, what you doing now? You know what I'm saying? What you doing now? What you trying to do now? And so that's the shit I'm on. With all that, my brother and all that shit, I worked for a black man. That was my first real job, working for Puff. And it was like most, you got to understand. I worked for BMG, dog. Basically, that's why I started out in the Burlesville music business, and I did this on 21 going into 22, and then previous to that, for 2 years, I was a drug dealer and a successful one. You know what I'm saying? With the jail, but you know what I mean. So I literally got out of jail and came right to Puff and all of them. And within a month, I told niggas, I said, and I've had people laugh at me before, so that's why it's always funny because I always prove them wrong. That's the thing about me. If you really know me, you know me. I love to prove motherfuckers wrong, and I love that people think it's only one route to take to something, and I'm like, no, you just ain't try the other route. You try the other route, you would get even better results. You know what I'm saying? Say if you wasn't scared, like there's people that contrive to say what they say, and then there's people that actually say what they want to say. The difference between me and you is you motherfuckers are scared to say what's really on your heart. I'm not. You have to have perimeters because you've never been anybody. I don't. I'm a musician. I'm not a fucking lawyer. You understand what I'm saying? Get the difference? So any last way, I just wanted to go back with this dude right here. All that nostalgia shit, niggas don't remember that, man. They don't care about that. Niggas don't care about, yo, you was part of Lewis's Lounge or whatever. They care about what crew you was with. And you know that and I know that. Was you a Rockefeller? You was with Def Jam? You was with Rough Riders? You was with Murder Inc. and them niggas? Who's you with? You know what I'm saying? And so that's what really come into question. And the people you was with, was they the top tier dudes? This happened to be, I mean, who was bigger than Puff? I don't live in the hood, nigga. I live in Connecticut. See what I'm saying? Another thing that people do is, so you assume I lived in the hood, and I don't live in the hood. You get what I'm saying? Like I literally live in one of the best sections of Connecticut there possibly is, except for one other area of Connecticut, which is out there where Martha Stewart live at. So, you know what I'm saying? Now I be in the hood, homie. You understand what I'm saying? I be in the hood a lot. You know what I'm saying? I still be out here. So, you know what I'm saying? I still be out here, B. I think that's what you're talking about. But yeah, I come home to the suburbs, B. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I still come home to the suburbs. Pause on that one. Everybody know that about me. You by the Trumbull Mall? Yeah, I know what Trumbull Mall is. All right, then. So you in Fairfield County too, then? What you talking about? You in Fairfield County too? What you talking about? See what I mean? He said he by the Trumbull Mall. Then you in Fairfield County, right? Huh? Come on, hit me up. Hit me up. Let me know, Sean. You in Fairfield County, right? Huh? This nigga taking too long. Anyway. All right, enough about that. Shout out to you anyway, town folk. But yeah, I don't do that we us shit. The only we's I consider on this channel is people that donate and support the cause. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, there ain't no we's. Ain't no us. So Brenden Paul finally took the stand today after waiting since Monday to take the stand. And, you know, it was a couple hiccups or whatever, especially there on Wednesday and yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you too. Yeah, I live in Connecticut, B. So if you know, you say you live by the Trumbull Mall, you know what I'm saying? Then you understand what I'm talking about. I just told you where I live at. Like, you know what I'm saying? Put it this way, I live south of where you live at. Real south of where you live at. You know what I'm saying? Not north, south. So you figure it out. But I'm still in Fairfield County. You know what I'm saying? And if you know where I'm at in Fairfield County, then you know, you know what I'm saying? The average nigga in Connecticut don't live here. You know what I mean? Let's put it in perspective. The average nigga in Connecticut don't live where I live at. So, you know what I mean? Not to, that's to be respectful, I guess so, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you hit up the Cash App, man. Don't embarrass the state. You know what I'm saying? Embarrass me. You a nigga from Connecticut, then you should be donating. You on Old Town Road, I ain't gonna tell you what street I'm on, fam. You know what I'm saying? That ain't gonna happen. But yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, that's what's up. All right, Sean Diddy Combs' former assistant testified Friday to intense conditions while working for the disgraced music mogul. Brenden Paul began working for the Last Night rapper in 2022 up until March 25, 2024. The nigga only worked there for 2 years. See, this is the thing I was telling you about, Puff. You start getting all these wacko, weirdo niggas around you, and that was the problem. The day Combs, Los Angeles, and Miami homes were raided as part of a human trafficking investigation. Paul, a former Syracuse basketball player, claimed that the Combs wanted his employer. I got somebody to live up in Syracuse too. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy, right? What a coincidence. His employers moved like a SEAL 16. His mission was to make sure Combs was always happy. Paul allegedly used Adderall and cocaine to stay awake while employed and would go long periods without sleeping, once up for 3 days. Now, let me say something real quick, and I guarantee you Gene Dill will vouch for me before I read the rest of this, because I want to go in on some of these things. Now, y'all remember I done told y'all before here, I said, yo, when I was working at Bad Boy, son, we stay up for like 2-3 days. You know what I'm saying? The reason we was up for 2 or 3 days, because we definitely wasn't going to no free calls. We were up for 2 or 3 days because there's events going on. There's weekends where it's Miami Memorial Day weekend. Some Memorial Day weekend for those that have been out there before, you know what I'm saying? A couple other people, they be commenting on shit they ain't even participated in. 2 or 3 days was nothing. And I ain't need no cocaine. We ain't need no, and we was, I say we was hanging, we was drinking, we'd be at the club, Fountain Blue, Dream, all those spots down in Miami. And we would like get rest for like 3 or 4 hours, come back out. So when he says, yo, I took naps or whatever, I know the lifestyle because I worked for Bad Boy for 17 years. I know what I'm talking about. Now, if he chose to do all them other drugs, Brenden Paul, then that's on him. But I know me and my comrades, and especially with street team. I'm talking about street team years, Gene Dill. So you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't believe me, you just go ask Gene Dill's homie. He gonna tell you the same thing because he invented our fucking program. Shout out to you, sir. So anyway, long story short, yeah, it was him, not Puff, that invented our fucking program. It was him, not Gene Dill. Gene Dill's homie. Gene know who I'm talking about. Thank that man for that. Because without that, man, I wouldn't have had the experiences I've had. I wouldn't have gone to every city I've freaking been to, stayed at some of the nicest places I couldn't even never afford. One of the places we stayed at was like $3,000 a night. You understand what I'm saying? This shit had a boudet, and I didn't even know what a bouvet was, a boudet, whatever the fuck that shit is. You know what I'm saying? And I consider myself a pretty versed, cultured person. I didn't know what the hell that was. So when we stayed up, me and my comrades, you got to realize we hitting one club, then we hit another club, then we got to go to another location, These niggas are not just performing at one club and then it's over. They're performing at multiple different clubs. So what Brenden Paul is part of his direct entourage, meaning his on scene entourage. That's how we. Okay, so y'all want some SEAL 6 terminology, like so. It would be the main, what's the names that would be with Puff. Then it would be a second group that would already be at the locations that would meet with Puff. You understand what I'm saying? The second group usually included us, even though there was also times like, all right, Puff's performing here. All right, we need to be here, and we need to be here before he does. Then there's a team that's traveling directly with Puff, and then in between that, there's another team that's coordinating everything inside the club before Puff even get there as well. So there's actually 3 teams. So this is what these niggas mean, like SEAL Scene 6. Yes, nigga, because this is what the nigga needed to do to be proficient in work. The fuck are you talking about? What business do you not know that the employee, you think Elon Musk runs it this loosely? All right, hopefully you guys will get the papers done on Tuesday. No, he runs that shit coordinatedly. So what you judging Puff for? For being coordinated? These people are fucking hilarious. So anyway, we would stay up for like 2 or 3 days. And guys don't know what I'm talking about here. I'll show you real quick. So for those that are just in here and just getting in here, whatever, because so you don't think I'm just talking to you. Because a lot of people think, oh, no, he didn't. He ain't do all that. Son, listen. This is one of the few times y'all out here talking to Tisa Tells and all these different people or whatever. These motherfuckers don't know a goddamn thing about our history as far as the music business was concerned. For starters, most of them weren't even here in New York City, tri-state, to confirm or unconfirm anything. You understand what I'm saying? So that's one funny thing about it. I'm going to show y'all something I haven't shown y'all before. So basically, this is us promoting Ciroc here. I forgot what year this was. This ain't that long ago, though, because all these are digital. And all these pictures are taken by me, of course. You'll see me in some of these pictures in a minute. But I think this was one year for the Puerto Rican Day Parade. Nothing is altered here. There you go. There's your man Jacquay from Love and Hip Hop, friend of mine. And see what I'm saying, Jacquade again. But we were promoting heavily Ciroc. Now that was one of our products that we promoted outside of Revolt TV, and all numerous music artists from Bad Boy and also from whatever continuously would be our distributor, excuse me. And so we stuck with that, you know what I mean? And that's what we did. Shout out to my brother right there. He's got such a changed life now. It's ridiculous. And it's a good life. You know, he's married now, got a good wife with him. So shout out to my man, live out. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say it like that, live out. You know what I mean? I don't want to interrupt that man's life. And that's a problem I had to understand too. A lot of people ain't down at the courthouse because their lives and got, you know, their lives and changed around. Let me show y'all some more photos here. Their lives and changed around and things like that. You know what I mean? I have to realize that some of these occasions, you know, some of these things go back 10, 15, 20 years. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people's life done changed. A lot of people's life isn't the same as it was again back then or whatever. And even with Brenden Paul's situation, he said in 2 years how his life had changed. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say to Brenden Paul, great job today, kid. You know what I mean? You're a stand-up guy there. You're a stand-up guy. I would never say anything bad about you. Now, when I was speaking of Miami, here we are in Miami. This is just 1 year in Miami. I don't know what year. I just picked these years randomly. Sometimes, to be quite honest with you, I'll just click a photo album. I've got so many. That's Puff, one of Puff's old Jeeps right there. That's at Dream, if any of y'all know Miami. All right, okay. You know what I'm saying? I'll just be talking out my side here. We was around. You know, like I said, all these pictures, you know what I'm saying, are taken by me. You'll see me in some more pictures in here in a minute. You know what I'm saying? But just to let you know, we were around Puff at this time. You know what I'm saying? Now, anybody know those Jeeps and all that or whatever, know we was in the club with them that night at Dream and all that stuff or whatever. Here's me right here. This is what I look like, my Ciroc Boys outfit or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We had to wear those or whatever. That's why I was laughing when the nigga said SEAL Team 6. I was about to crack up laughing when he said that shit. I was like, nah, because he know the vibes. Oh no, I got more for you than that. He know the vibes. Oh, we were working coordinatedly together. These right here, these are me when I first started. That's the girl from the Woe video. If y'all ever seen Black Rob's Woe video, that's the real girl from the video, and that's without the pastels and all that stuff on, all right? You know what I'm saying? Sean, it's me and an ex of mine, another friend of mine. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Ryan? You know what I mean? This is me. Hold on, I got way more pictures than this, too. Hold on. I got way more than this. And I got a set in here that's clearer than these pictures. Oh, yeah. Yeah, me and Puff together. That's on Puff's birthday. It's me and my Bad Boy jacket on. I saw some Black Rob. That's me and Puff again. None of these are all to the date that they were uploaded, all that. You know what I'm saying? It's me and my comrades. Me and BR. That's me. You know what I'm saying? So I got old pictures, new pictures. You know what I'm saying? Me and Poe. You know what I'm saying? I got old pictures, new pictures. Yeah, I want to see some more pictures. Yeah. Like, they think I'm lying to them. Like, that's the funny thing about it. I guess because there's so many people that be out here lying and they think everybody's a liar. No, I'm really part of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I got pictures from different years. What year you want? What year you need? You understand what I'm saying? So I dare motherfucker to come to me. That's why when I get a bitch like Tisa Tells or any of these hoes that be trying to talk like they be talking, I'll be like, yo, bitch, you wasn't around us. That's like me talking about what was like you giving birth and I wasn't around. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going by what other people said the birth was like. Anybody in Miami, y'all know that spot right there. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we was on all the premier spots, man. And like, we're not just, you know what I'm saying, sitting out there like that or whatever. This is all part of the unit. This is all part of the thing. So as well as we're promoting the alcohol or whatever, we then tune in. Oh yeah, here go y'all favorite mans right here, right? Who that? Who that? Who that? Ain't that y'all's mans? Who that? Ain't that y'all's mans? That's my mans too, but ain't that y'all's mans? You know what I'm saying? Stop fucking playing with me, man. You know what I'm saying? Stop playing with me. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? Moving on. Shout out to Chopper City already. Shout out to Chopper. I ain't mad at Chopper. And people say, well, I don't never say nothing about Chopper. I did say something about Chopper. I did 2-3 videos about Chopper and motherfucking Fred, that monkey ass nickel. You know what I'm saying? Because I saw something. Let me tell y'all something about Fred. Y'all thought when I was talking to him, he know. But y'all thought when I was talking to him, I was talking to Fred and I was Freddie P. I'm talking about. And y'all thought I was talking in that video to like assault or reprimand Freddie P. I said, nah, I'm not trying to reprimand Freddie P. What I'm trying to do is make sure Freddie P know what the fuck going on. Nigga, you been on that show about 20, 15, 20 times. If you was still with Puff would have yelled at you the second time for not having no motherfucking music ready to go and you appearing on somebody's shit just talking. Nigga, tell him, here go the link. Y'all can go get the single right there. You got 100,000 motherfuckers listening. They bought your single for $1, nigga. You would have a motherfucker $100,000 on top of whatever that 2,000, 3,000 he giving you. Fuck you thinking. Same thing with you, Chopper. You on there, have some motherfucking music, nigga. You gotta tap in with your nephews sometimes. You understand? You gotta tap in. Just ring a bell, nigga. You gotta tap in with your nephews sometimes. That's what the fuck I was saying. You on here talking all that shit. I ain't nigga talk shit, but goddamn, have something ready going up in the arsenal. You understand me? I mean, just talking and living in the moment and shit. What the fuck? So shout out to both of them motherfucking niggas. Mind your business though. If you ain't either one of them niggas, it's family business, nigga. Mind your motherfucking business. You know what I'm saying? That's my problem. This is family business. Mind your motherfucking business. How the fuck y'all get here? Nobody invite you to the motherfucking party. That's the shit that be killing me right there. Niggas was asking me the other day. This is outside the fact. But they was asking me, I wonder what kind of white girls he was around. I'm around the type of white girls that white dudes liked. That's the type I'm around, nigga. You know what I'm saying? This is the type of white girls I hung around with. All right. This is in another part of Connecticut. These are the people that I were around. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I hear you, man. I hear you. Nobody in here thinks you're funny, though. You're a loser. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. These are my buddies from other part of Connecticut that I used to live in, or whatever. This is my friend's art gallery, so I like to show pictures sometimes. And these are all my friends. I don't know where the fuck they're at now, but these are people that, you know what I'm saying, type of people I was around. So you know what I'm saying? And as you can see, I'm pretty consistent with the shit I say. You know what I mean? It's my buddies right there. This guy right here with the glasses on, he's real popular. Y'all can go check him out. His name is TTK Kicks. He's been on the History Channel and a couple other people. It's my man Starks right there. And this is my man right here. Very inspirational in my life. Shout out to my man Frank Lowe, who was he's not responsible, but an artist who now lives in Brooklyn, but originally from Connecticut, New London, Connecticut, which is the town Cassie is from. He was responsible for making a mural that's around the corner, not that particular one. But as you can see, these are the type of people that I was around. So when the motherfucker asked me the other day, they were trying to be funny. I bet you he dated funky white girls. Does this look like a funky white broad? No, I don't. You thought I dated them white girls that try to act like they black girls. No, I don't date bitches like that. No, when I say I dealt with Italian girls, Greek girls, shit like that. Nah, and them pictures right there, those were from like 15 years ago. You dig me? You smell me? So I hope we got that out the way. Back to what I was saying about the staying up for 2 or 3 days where Brenden Paul has said that. That's true. I mean, but you ain't have to do that under the assistance of drugs. That's what I'm saying. We stayed up for 2 or 3 days. And listen, ain't nobody gonna ever tell you they saw me doing some cocaine or any of that shit. You understand what I'm saying? So it's kind of funny when I hear niggas say that. Now, well, I think today, and I want to read out for a little bit more of this, because I like y'all to be informed. I don't want y'all to just go by my word and my translation because that's unfair. And that's like the same thing that I speak against. Brenden Paul began working for the Last Night Rapper in 2022 up until March 25th, 2024. The day Combs' Los Angeles and Miami homes were raided as part of a human trafficking investigation. Paul, a former Syracuse basketball player, claimed that Combs wanted his employees to move like SEAL Team 6. And his mission was to make sure Combs was always, I don't know about that always happy shit. I ain't never heard none of that. Paul allegedly used Adderall and cocaine to stay awake while employed, but would go long periods without sleep. He should have just tried coffee, homie. That's what we was doing. You know what I'm saying? Paul Paul was the fifth person to receive immunity in exchange for his testimony in Combs' federal sex trafficking and racketeering case. Now, you know what's funny? He said Paul was the fifth person, right? So there's five people. A lot of people unbeknownst to this, they're saying, well, how are these people on there talking about drugs and all this stuff or whatever, whatever, whatever? But none of them are coming because all of them gained immunity prior to talking to the prosecutors. Now, I'm not mad at the prosecutors. They just trying to present their case. That's why you ain't never heard me say nothing sideways about them. You ain't really heard me say nothing sideways about the judge. You understand what I'm saying? Never. You know what I'm saying? He told Christine Slavic, the U.S. Attorney's Office, that Christina K.K. Coram, Combs' former chief of staff, basically ran the enterprise for the Bad Boy Records founder. Paul said that he initially packed a lot of joints for Combs in the early days of his employment and would then travel ahead of Combs in advanced locations, he testified. Paul claimed he was instructed to buy drugs for the Victory rapper and once purchased more than $4,000 worth of marijuana from a former assistant, Philip Pons. He testified to purchasing drugs like ecstasy, cocaine, and ketamine for his boss. Now, he did purchase some drugs. We all know that. He also admits to doing some drugs, right? But whoa, wait. You got to hold up. Guys, make sure y'all double tap that and hit the like button. Yeah, it's weed and drug. That's what I'm saying. Like, for many of y'all that don't know this, in the New York City tri-state, all three, Connecticut, New York, and Jersey, all right, marijuana usage is legal. Now, in Florida, it's not. And I got to admit that. I got statutes of the law. In Florida, it's not legal. But in the New York City tri-state, make sure that y'all know that it's legal to smoke marijuana. It's not a crime here. So I hear a lot of people, they be like, ooh, they smoking. It's not a crime here. It's been decriminalized for more than almost 6 years now here in the New York City tri-state in all three states. And prior to that, in Connecticut, we had dispensaries. You used to have to go get a license to actually go to the dispensaries and legally purchase it. They still have the dispensaries, but now you have recreational use. So in New York, Jersey, and Connecticut, we allow recreational use of marijuana here legally. So when y'all bring up, y'all say, ooh, he was doing that. No, that's because you live in Florida or you live in Ohio or you live, and this is why I said a lot of people, they get mistaken and they think that they know the law. No, that's a law applicable to where you live at. Let me continue. Paul became embroiled in Combs' legal drama in April 2024, after he was named in a lawsuit filed by Rodney Lil Rod Jones against the disgraced mogul. The music producer claimed Paul worked as a mule for Combs, procuring and distributing drugs and guns. The former college basketball star was then charged with felony cocaine possession, which was later dropped. Nearly 6 weeks after the trial began, prosecutors indicated that they will rest their case by Friday. The rapper's legal team recently told Judge Aaron Samaranian it would need between 2 to 5 days to present his case, a stark contrast from his initial request of up to 2 weeks with witnesses on the stand. Combs was charged with racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, and coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution with a federal indictment until September 17th. Okay, so we got that. Now, what I want to go right now is I want to go to some of the highlights of the day. One of the highlights that stuck out to me was under a cross. You actually heard Brenden Paul respond, and I believe it was to Killer B. He responded when asked, was he a drug mule? And he said, no, I wasn't a drug mule. This is what the boy said. Now, I don't know if y'all heard something different. I heard that boy. Anybody else hear that boy say something different? Because I could have swore that's what he said. He said, I wasn't a drug mule. Under cross from the defense, if y'all don't catch that. And I said, oh, okay. So basically, you're telling the world that contrary to belief and contrary to what everybody's been pushing for months now, including on his own reputation, Brenden Paul, that he was a drug mule. He said, no, I wasn't a drug mule. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to come out that courtroom and they're going to tell you a story and they're going to tell you all kinds of stories. Oh, it's over for Diddy today. It's over for Diddy today. This is why I don't get into the semantics of reading the tweets and all that stuff or giving even the transcripts a lot of times because it becomes too twisted. And it's becoming twisted to the point now where even the defense and even the defense and everybody else is getting tired of it. Like that. We're at the point now where this trial is like, guys, make sure y'all double tap the screen and hit the like button. There's over 130 people in here. There's only 13 likes. Come on, like, yeah, we got to go remove some more people, Ryan. You see the little troll people in here? It's like, it's weird. Anyway, long story short, they all here to see what I got to say. They all here to see what I got to say. Anyway. Oh boy. Anyway, let me piece on this, and then we're gonna go. I'm gonna go back to watching the remainder of the day, the last little 30 minutes here, whatever. But let me keep you up. That's why I stalled y'all out a little bit, because they had went to lunch and all that stuff or whatever, and I don't know if they resided back yet or what. But we about to fly down, huh? I believe they did, and if they did, I want to start from there. But there's a couple of places where I just want to specifically be at, and I'm just looking for that on Cross. Now, other thing I want to bring in too. Yeah, don't worry about them. This is the hater crew over here. You understand what I'm saying? I told you I found most of them, but there's a whole bunch of haters and a whole bunch of people that have found their way over here, Ryan. And they found their way through Tisa Tells. Like, if you say something bad about her, she has like a whole little team of people that will sit on your page and hover over your page. And basically their job is to flag you and everything like that. That's why I said with Tisa Tells, maybe we're going to have to take that step too. Probably I haven't been flagging Tisa Tells. You understand what I'm saying? Regardless of what she's been saying, I haven't flagged that woman. I haven't wrote a complaint about her or anything else. I just put focal point on her. You understand what I'm saying? But you're now getting it. Yeah, because they leave comments and everything else. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've shown them before. I'll show you guys again. They leave comments. Sometimes you guys don't see them because what they'll say will be held back. Yesterday, when I was live yesterday, if you remember, that one lady came in here and she started talking about Tisa Tells towards the end of my show. So yeah, she has people that run around for her devotees. That's the black. I guess that's the black female way of get back on here. They'll flag your page or whatever, try to get you taken down. It's real pathetic, because many of these women will talk about how they are oppressed, but then go around and try to oppress other people. So that's why I have less and less sympathy. And like, once you start getting into my mentality and how I think, you'll start getting it a little bit better. You understand what I'm saying? Because now I don't fuck with that shit. You're not going to disrespect me and then think I'm supposed to have the utmost respect for you. No, that means, bitch, you trying to sucker me and put me up under your arm. It will be none of that. It'll be none of that. You know what I'm saying? I'll take on everybody in the room before that happened. Okay, I wanted to go to this one part, but I know I can just paraphrase it myself. The point I wanted to stick on was the fact that this dude sat there and he said, no, I wasn't a drug mule. That's for one. And that stuck out the most to me. I don't like getting into, because I used to do this and people didn't even want to pay attention to it. The government may exist to call its next witness as far as whether it was in the civils, under the seal, and this was 3 hours ago. So we got to go right here. I don't care what the prosecution presented about him, because it really wasn't nothing. You know what I'm saying? If you saw non-sexual activity, would you have worked there? Like, this is example. Attorney Steele asked him a couple of questions or whatever. So I want to go into what Attorney Steele said to him. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? AKA still break it. You understand what I'm saying? That's my man Still Blanket. That's my man Still Blanket. No, I don't answer no bitch to call me sir. Go fuck yourself, bitch, and find a hole to crawl down. Yeah. Let me tell y'all something, fellas. Anytime a bitch address you and she happens to be African American or Latina, they use this little form of thing called "Where are you from, sir?" Like they use that to try to present dominance over you. You understand what I'm saying? You have to be very careful of that. There's a lot of people that are using Willie Lynch tricks now, so they try to perceive dominance over people. You understand? So when she came in and she demanded I answer a question, you notice I just got rid of that bitch. Bitch, you're a nobody. And that's what y'all need to do from now on. Stop making these illy-lilly bitches feel like they somebody in society when you're not. All right, so check this out, right? I want to go up into what was said right there. Okay, so here we go. How did you pay for the drugs? AUSA or assistant U.S. attorney, all right? Brenden Paul, cash from the Gucci bag of security, usually from Fahim. In these texts, what is the flowers? Marijuana. Okay. You know what I'm saying? That's not a big deal. Did you also call it the tree? Did you also call it trees? Yeah, everybody up in New York City tri-state call it trees. We used to anyway. Yes, here Fahim tells me I'll get back paid. I'll get back paid once Duke comes on shift. So he was getting paid, but this is for personal products. This is not for distribution. This is for fun times. What? Name me a Hollywood star that isn't a crack, a drug addict, or whatever. Because rock and roll dudes been doing this for years. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. That's why I'm confused. I'm like, okay, Ozzy Osbourne, all these niggas been doing this shit for years, partying, getting drunk, getting high. Hugh Hefner used to have parties over his house, which later on they threw Bill Cosby in jail for all the shit that happened at the Playboy Mansion. But everybody up at the Playboy Mansion had to be doing it because where the fuck did Bill learn it from? Bill from Philly. You understand what I'm saying? Philly niggas didn't do shit like that. Bill learned that from being around at the niggas at the Playboy Mansion. I was in the music industry for over 17 years. I've seen motherfuckers personally with my eyes. Some of y'all favorite stars, female and male, pass the fuck out to the point that a nigga gotta pick them up and put them in the car, or pick them up and take them up to the hotel with a blanket on top of them. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, it's like when you hear shit like that or whatever the case may be, you don't even pay it. You don't even pay it no mind if you've been in the music industry for 17 years. You say to yourself, all right, well, that's just some normal shit. It is just some normal shit. What I'm saying is, it's not the men getting these chicks fucked up. These chicks go out and voluntarily get themselves fucked up. And I don't know why nobody sits here and motherfucking wants to like play like that's a reality. It is a reality. A lot of these girls were going out doing what they were doing at these particular frames and times. And if you wasn't out and about in these frames, it's weird. That's why I said it's weird to me. We got some people that's reporting on the story. When this stuff was going on in 2004, 2005, 6, 7, 8, I was a young buck. I was still in my 20s. You understand what I'm saying? Coming into the 2010s, I was in my 30s. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, if I was in my 20s or 30s then and you're only 25, 30 now, that means you were 15 years old. You was 10 years old. Some of y'all was not even 18 years old when this stuff was going on. How the fuck do you know and feel like you're so confident in what you're saying based on the regurgitation and the statements of other people? That's why I had a problem with the black community when it came to this right here with this particular subject, because I'm like, you motherfuckers at this, like, this is the first time, you got to understand, this is the first time in history if I've ever seen niggas rally for the police. And I want y'all to keep that in mind, because this is a different type of niggas is rallying for the police. These niggas is rallying for the police are the same bevy of women that was yelling to defund the police a couple years ago. But y'all ain't ready to have that conversation. See, it was a whole bunch of black women that voted to defund the police. And to me, that increased the motherfucking problems that we have in society. But one day we're gonna have that conversation. Don't worry about it. The Mr. Combs, and I want to make sure I underline this. It wasn't just black women. No. It was black women, white women, liberals that made sure that happened. So a lot of the violence you have in these streets across the country right now, or a lot of uptick of things or whatever, and you see it specifically in democratic cities because they chose to defund the fucking police. Now, y'all know me, and I ain't around a police officer whatsoever, but I will tell you this. Sometimes it's just good goddamn police work. Now, did Mr. Combs have you take drugs? Brenden Paul, yes, to test his tussie. Now, see, y'all got to find another name for that shit. That shit sound too close to bussy. You understand what I'm saying? And Pup, listen, Pup, you come home, nigga, we having to talk with you. We gonna all sit you in. This is an intervention, motherfucker. You understand what I'm saying? If you come home, you black motherfucker, you I couldn't find nothing to call him. If you come home, you drug addict motherfucker, we love you. But if you bring your black ass home, we're going to sit you in the room, all right? All right? We're going to sit you in the room because you need everybody to talk to you, man. You need everybody to talk to you. You understand what I'm saying? You need everybody to talk to you. Did Jane participate in Wild King Nights? Brenden Paul, yes. Did Mr. Combs and other girlfriends participate in Wild King Nights? Not that I'm aware of. So he couldn't confirm that. Who called them Wild King Nights? Paul KK, I just say. He's going to the hotels. So she won't think she was doing facilitating and doing her job. Why we keep doing? That's why KK ain't never been called that. Because the only thing she was doing was facilitating her job, what she was hired for. You understand what I'm saying? And to be and to put everything in perspective, right? One of the other things that I took out of today's testimony thus far, and I'm gonna get into the rest in a minute, was this. Brenden Paul allegedly was hired on, and I'm guessing this because of his prior engagement with Syracuse University and the basketball team. He was initially hired on to fill the same position that was formerly filled by Alex Fine. Did y'all know this? Let me run that by you one more time. When Puff hired Alex Fine, if y'all don't know it or not, Alex Fine was a hired help by Puff. And he was brought on to be, I think, some type of a weight conditioner or whatever the case may be, you know, weight training, blah, 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 blah. And that was his job for some time. I don't know exactly how much time, but some time or whatever. If we are to liken what Brenden Paul was doing, right, do we also liken, since they're the same job duty, because literally Brenden Paul got hired for the same job that Alex Fine used to fill. I don't know about, see, if you don't know about Bad Boy, you don't know nothing about this, and you can't make those matches. This is why I said this. I'll say it for you one more time. Okay, y'all ready? Listen to me very carefully. Brenden Paul got hired under the admission of him being in court today, and this will come up, I'll read it in a few seconds here, but under his admission in court, he got hired on to basically fill the same job that was previously held by Alex Fine, which is Cassie's husband, which is a weight conditioning guy, body conditioning guy, whatever the case may be, in the form of weightlifting, body conditioning, etc., etc., etc. So the exact same job that Alex Fine was hired for, this motherfucker was hired for. Now, one thing I noticed, because I saw Alex Fine in person, right? If any of y'all remember what Alex Fine used to look like compared to what he looked like now, chances are to say they probably still getting high to a certain degree any fucking way. You know what I'm saying? Because he damn sure did. He looked like he was like, anyway, long story short, if Brenden Paul was doing all this stuff that I'm reading out, isn't it safe to say under the same circumstance, Alex Fine was doing the same thing? Or could we say, okay, after Puff found out what was going on with Alex Fine and Cassie, right? He hired Brenden Paul and he said, now we're going to take a different approach with this. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be that nigga, and I'm going to make fun of you and have you do certain shit. I don't think that was the case, because the way Brenden is speaking, he was speaking in a circumference of Puff was his friend. And he said, Puff fired me a couple times. So fuck what, man. We've seen Puff fire niggas on two. Everybody in the business do that shit. You know what niggas do that in the business? Everybody in the business done this. Jay-Z done it. Some of your favorite female rappers have done it. You know what I'm saying? And they'll do this to people they like. The ones they don't like, they'll be like, yo, because like, okay, so let me tell you what I mean. Some things go over your head. So for example, Puff would tell him, you're fired. Call KK and tell her you're fired. So what that means is call KK and tell her you'll probably be back. You're not fired. You'll probably be back. But for right now, I'm pissed off and I'm mad. And I don't want you here. So that's why you would tell her call KK. It ain't call KK to let her know that you ain't loud back on. No, call KK to let her know you are one in a possible right now. You ain't here on Tuesday, but you might be back on Friday. So just call KK to let her know. He know that. This is how strategic we was as a company. So with that being said, he called KK and told KK, hey, listen, that's the signal of, if I tell them to call you, that's the signal to tell them, hey, listen, they still working here. You just ain't working here today. And it might not be tomorrow either. And then he said, and to follow that up, he said, well, when I came back at the Puff said I was fired, what did he say to you? He said, hi. This is how this man's on the mission. He said, what did Puff say when he saw you the next time? He said hi. That means, nigga, you're not fired. I've been told that shit before. Not by him, but I've been told by the yo, don't come back, Sean. And then 3 days later, hey, yo, son, you want to go to the state with us? I said, I thought you niggas said y'all was done with me. Hey, yo, we having a dinner next week. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just a regular routine. I said, keep you on your motherfucking toes. You want the job, don't you? You want the job, don't you? The stakes were different back then. And this is what we have to keep telling these kids. Yeah, excuse me, I got an eyelash in my eye. That's what we keep trying to tell these kids that's trying to cover this story, or these older broads, that this is the first time in their whole entire life at fucking 40 something that they actually been around some stars and it's worth talking for them talking about. 40 something fucking years old. Get the fuck out of here. It's your first time around stars. Get the fuck out of my face. Anyway, where did you make the reservation? Meaning the hotel. This is what the assistant U.S. attorney says. He says, Nobu. What was Wild King like? What was Wild? Well, where was this Wild King night taking place? Okay, I'm paraphrasing for him. That's what Assistant U.S. Attorney says. Paul responds, Jane's residence. I wrote, running to Walmart for them. Assistant U.S. Attorney then asks, KK asks, Wild King mode active or Gucci bag active? What did you say between the two? So, once again, I'm going to say this is the reason why many of y'all can't understand. Oh my God, the eyelash is killing me. This is why many of y'all can't understand and say to yourself, why ain't KK been called up or whatever? Because she was just facilitating what a nigga told her to do. That was part of the job duties. And she got, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, games with this. We playing games with this now. You know what I'm saying? How did you know what to buy for Mr. Cohn's Wild King nights? We had a shared document in the notes app. Well, who was responsible for the Astroglide? The property manager. I didn't think the 200 South Mayfield, the manager, was good. So then what they got into was the property manager. They say, well, the property managers will facilitate an Astroglide. Last thing I found out, Astroglide ain't motherfucking illegal. Could somebody show me a document where Astroglide is illegal? Go ahead, let me know. Y'all worry about how many bottles of Astroglide Puff got. You better worry about what, if you're out in California especially, you better worry about them nasty ass porn stars and all the shit they be motherfucking selling along. And that's them porn companies, them nasty motherfuckers that been out there for 40 and 50 years damn near, making porn and spreading all kinds of shit out there in the community. You understand what I'm saying? Ask them motherfuckers how many bottles of Astroglide they got on set. See, we ain't worried about the real things. You see what I'm saying here? You ain't asked the porn industry in California how many motherfucking bottles of motherfucking shit they got on their sets. But you worry about how many bottles of Puff got. Puff, when you get out, you understand what I'm saying? Find your one chick and keep fucking. Keep fucking. So you can't fuck no more. You understand what I'm saying? Because you're going to understand that. My uncle told me that. My uncle said, keep fucking. He said, because if you don't, when you turn around 70 something and they ain't looking at you no more, you understand what I'm saying? Unless you're a multi-millionaire or something like that, you gonna understand why I told you, keep fucking. The fuck? Listen, let me tell y'all something, and this is gonna be a shot to a lot of people. A lot of Black and Latin people, right? I'm starting to find out when they hit around about 40, 45 years old, they want to start pretending like they're actually 30 years older than what they actually are. And it seems to me that a lot of these folks, they don't want to live their life. They don't want to enjoy their life. What they want to do is they want to line their life linear in fashion so they'll be seen as white Americans somehow or another, whatever. And the problem I always have is, bitch, I actually live around motherfucking white Americans and they don't think like you do. The average white American is out here white water rafting, shit like that. Why do you think you saw motherfucking Puff go white water rafting with his kids at 50 fucking something? Because that's what rich motherfucking happy motherfuckers do. Moderate to silly motherfuckers. They're trying to make an example and try to act like they're the creme de la creme of the culture. They the motherfuckers that be sitting around, oh Lord, it's over now. Like they be sitting around and pending their own doom and shit. Nigga, I'm not, you gave up at 40 something. You gave up at 45. Some of you even 50 something, 55, 60. Nigga, you gave up. You gave up. And a lot of people won't put that in perspective. You gave up. You didn't make the right choices. You didn't try the right ambitious tones. It was your fault. So don't be jumping online acting like I'm supposed to agree with you or jump with you or corner my life or whatever, because what you perceive as what motherfuckers should be doing at a certain age. Puff should be fucking at 50, 51, 52. Now mind you, it's nasty shit, Puff. But still, you had it right. And most men out here that's 50, 55, 60, 60, Bitches out here talking about you should be married. Bitches ain't even married at 65, let alone 55. How many hoes y'all know right now that's 65 and over that ain't married? Go ahead, I'll wait. How many hoes y'all know right now 55 and older and ain't married? See, this whole world reversal with this reverse psychology shit, like, first we always had the conversations about how chicks get older and then some people will say they have less work because they can't have babies no more. That's a prime conversation we have, right? Boom, move on. See, it's going to be a couple chicks that are part of the allergy of the sisterhood. I can hear no one but my other big back sisters crew. You understand? Don't worry about them bitches. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about them. They always going to be the same. There's a group of women out here I like to call the unfuckables. You understand what I'm saying? And the unfuckables have one unique quality. Let me tell you about the unfuckables before I keep reading on this shit. The unfuckables, as I like to call them, and that's UNFUKABLES. All right, it's trademark. Don't sell my shit. The unfuckables, as I like to call them, are a group of women that really originate from the sisterhood of big backs and traveling tots. And these unique set of individual misandrists and extreme feminists that go around harassing men online and offline or whatever, or a collective of some of the worst women we have in society. When they collect up with the rest of the sisterhood that's in multiple different branches and multiple different cultures and multiple different ethnicities and multiple different religious background, when all the sisterhood of the big back comes together like Voltron or fucking one of the Transformers or some shit like that, you start to see what this is really about. There are women that have been running so many plays doing this Diddy trial, and one of the best ones that they use is they try to cancel people. And that's why I was reading what I read about Kanye earlier at first, because I wanted to get that out the way because of the pure simple fact of this. Even with Kanye's car getting repossessed, which it wasn't repossessed for financial reasons, but that's the first thing they went to. It wasn't repossessed because people didn't like what he going to the Diddy trial or whatever. Thank you again, sir. But no. They circumnavigated the narrative for one reason with Kanye, because they wanted to embarrass him. And that's what these black women, that's what I'm trying to tell you about the Kanye thing. They say, oh, well, he was supporting Diddy. So this is the narrative put. He was supporting Diddy. That's why they took the car. How does that even fucking make sense? No, that's somebody that's never been to a high-end restaurant, understands the parking engagement at high-end restaurants. That's what that is. And if you knew the restaurant that they were at, you would understand that just like that. Or maybe if you lived in certain areas, you would understand that. But if you're going home to the fifth floor of the projects, you don't understand that. So you report it how it is. If you going home and you live in California, you going home to 8 motherfuckers living in a 3-bedroom, then shit starts to wake up to you. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe I ain't lived that life, so I can't speak about that life. You understand what I'm saying? And then it's the extreme of which you lived it. So that means even if you were married to a football player for a number 1 of years or whatever the case may be, you still wasn't circling around the motherfuckers we were. Sad to say, the truth. Let's keep going on here. I took the photo to show the manager how to lay out the Astroglide in her bathroom. Assistant U.S. Attorney, how did you put, what did he say? How did you put it in? How did you put it in for the cash? Robin at TriStar. So here goes that company again, TriStar, whatever, which is ran by this black female who she had a whole bunch of problems or whatever, mismanaging money, things of that nature, whatever. I guess it was like a lawsuit or two brought against her. And I don't know what the end game was or whatever, but you can look them up. Their name is TriStar. And well, her name is the company is TriStar, but this is a black female. A lot of people are misconstrued to think this is a white-owned company, and I've seen them mention that. No, this was a black woman that owned this company. Brenden Paul, he called me to go get a sex outfit, but he never called me back. Assistant U.S. Attorney, how did you clean up after? I wore gloves. They said why? For sanitary reasons, blah, 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 blah. The cocaine you were arrested with, was it yours? That's when Steele Blanket come in. Brian Steele, he said, objection. Judge says, sustained. Was it yours? Paul said, no. Was it Mr. Combs? Steele came in again. Objection. Judge says, overruled. Paul says, it was Mr. Combs. What did you do after the arrest? Brenden Paul says a diversion program, drug treatment, no further questions. You understand what I'm saying? Now, he said, yeah, the drugs were Puff. We already established Puff was a motherfucking drug addict. Shit, we all know that. What the fuck? This ain't a RICO case over drugs, nigga. You know what I'm saying? This ain't a RICO case over drugs. And as read earlier, one of the funny things is, and I want to enter this in because this is not in this set, but when asked that same question, right, which was this, when he went to a diversion program or whatever. There's some further statements in here that I think is missing from here, which at that time he says that he was cleaning up the room, which is a room after one of these, free calls, Wild King nights, I don't know, bang, 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 thank you, ma'am. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Veronica Slutty, whatever the fuck she called herself, whatever. You know what I'm saying? A Veronica Slutty night. You know what I'm saying? I gotta look that up what she was called herself, Veronica Slutty or some shit. But anyway, it was one of them nights. You understand what I'm saying? So Brenden Paul, he describes what it's like to clean up and everything like that. He wore gloves and all that stuff or whatever. It's somewhere in here. But he said he wore gloves and all that stuff or whatever to clean up and all that stuff after they were done. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You was damn sure at the bottom. Hey, yo, Jaguar, right. You had jumped on one time and said we was the bottom tier. Now this nigga was the bottom tier. I'm fucking with that bitch. That bitch know I'm fucking with you, nigga. Shut the fuck up. So anyway, listen. Let me go right here. How did you pay for the drugs or whatever? Because I want to see that one part right there that's funny where he said, yeah, we cleaned up and everything or whatever. I cleaned up by myself or whatever. And so evidently he would clean up the room and he said, there was a whole bunch of drugs and shit left behind. So he said he collected the drugs and he asked KK what you should do with them. And he said, I'll just, you know what I'm saying? I'll just keep them along with me. And so evidently when he kept the drugs along with him and he was attempting to fly back, I guess this is the point where he got caught. And that's when you see him later on going to these drug programs and all that stuff, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, and then there's another thing too. Yo, Puff, let me ask you a motherfucking question, nigga. How come you paying all these motherfuckers all this money when was giving us some nickels and peanuts and shit like that? You know what I'm saying? Like many things, I'm seeing one common thing. The hoes and the white employees would definitely get more money than any of the niggas. And I got a problem with that, nigga. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't even gonna hold you. Because when we started out, the only thing I was working with was black and Latino niggas mostly. There was a sprinkle. I'm talking about this is 2000 going into 2002 when I started working at Bad Boy. So at that time, most if not all the office was African Americans and fucking Latinos. That's it. You understand what I'm saying? And every last one of them African Americans and Latinos, mostly, we had a sprinkle of a white person here, sprinkle of a white person there. They would usually be facilitating for Arista, or they would work alongside Arista, whatever. And then later on, we had people that joined the company. But it wasn't saturated like that. No, in the beginning, it wasn't nothing but blacks and Latinos in our office, and specifically the type of Latinos who were in there were Dominican and Puerto Rican. That's it. I know one Dominican gentleman right now I can think of. I'm not going to say his name, but he knows what I'm talking about. Rock, what up, boy? You know what I'm saying? That's it. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to bring that up. Started at 7, because this is what it says. Who is this? Brenden Paul, Fahim. We called him Fa. So what was his salary? Assistant U.S. attorney. Paul said it started out at $75,000 a year, then $100,000. I got paid bi-weekly by Combs Enterprises. So you gave this motherfucker an increase of $25,000. They asked him, where you live at? He said, I live in an Airbnb between LA and Miami. What the fuck? Most people don't even know what to do with money if it keep flowing. They will blow it like they never had it. In regards to what? Are you talking about most poor people? Yeah, because that definitely ain't Puff situation. You know what I'm saying? That definitely ain't Puff situation. The dude gets arrested. He gets locked up shortly before Puff gets arrested, all that, does the drug treatment programs, all that shit or whatever, comes home, right? So that's where we at. Now, I wanted to talk about a little bit about what Cross had to say to him. You understand what I'm saying? Because I think it is important. So this part right here really blows my mind. You understand what I'm saying? What did you do after the arrest? Okay, so here we go. So, Steele, this is Brian Steele, Puff's attorney. You walked up to play basketball at Syracuse for our kind of coach. You said you played on AUSC. That doesn't matter. So anyway, Steele says you weren't just a drug mule, were you? And assistant U.S. attorney says objection. Judge says overruled. Brandon Paul, I was not just that. It was a minor part of what you did. Absolutely. Personal use, rephrase. You understand what I'm saying? So he didn't want to answer the question, yo, do you do personal drugs or whatever? Cone still, the hotel nights were personal. Assistant U.S. attorney, objectional. Judge says rephrase it. Still, it was Mr. Combs James relaxation personal right from your relaxation and personal right from your observation. Yes. Did you see Jane as hesitant? He said, I did not. I want to repeat that. He said, did you see Jane as hesitant? He said, I did not. Now, you see a constant flow rate that we keep having in this conversation is one thing. Whether these girls were purposely, and it seems like all three of them that have testified at the very least was doing these things on their own, with the exception of Cassie not messing with one of the guys who he admitted that. That's why I put it up there yesterday on my page. I can find that in my shorts area. One of the strippers said, no, she never contacted me for anything personal. You understand what I'm saying? So I had to respect that. So that's why I put that out there, because I don't want to put nothing that ain't supposed to be on her. I don't get off on stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Even if I don't like what's going on, I don't get off on lying on people. I never have, never will. I think that's the most sucker shit you can do. Lie on somebody or go snitch on somebody. I think niggas like that deserve the worst. Like, niggas need to get, you know what I mean, done up for that. So anyway, long story short, if you saw non-consensual activity, you would have not worked there, right? Assistant U.S. attorney says objectional. Judge says no. Sustain. Would you not work for a criminal? Would you? Brandon Paul said no. You care about your reputation, don't you? Brandon Paul said yes. You understand what I'm saying? So now we got to establish, if you saw non-consensual activity, you would not have worked there, right? This is under the own admission, the one that y'all said, oh, it's over now. Brandon Paul is on the stand. Still, you were arrested for 27 grams, barely personal use. It was a mistake, right? Brandon Paul responds, yes. Good for you. And the case was dismissed? Yes, it was, wasn't it? Did drugs make Sean more focused? He got extremely creative. And there we go. And that's the source. And I want to stop right there for this 1 second. Because y'all motherfuckers talking from a perspective of just seeing Puff in the courtroom. I'm talking from a perspective of being part of Bad Boy Entertainment, and also one time being part of the streets. And I know one thing, and I know a couple of things y'all missed. And I'm going to name 3 of them right now. Brian still asked him, did the drugs make Sean more focused? Paul responded, Brenden Paul, he got extremely creative. Let me tell you what that's from. Once I heard that right there, I got everything. For the niggas that's in New York, tri-state area, all the way across the country, tell me if y'all dig what I'm saying and write it in the fucking chat room. Y'all ready? So as artists, especially back in the day, I'm a musician. I'm not a fucking vlogger. That's why I don't give a shit about vlogging. That's when some chick was like the other day, here's the competition. I'm not be on this show. I don't give a shit about that. As musicians, right? And this is something y'all might want to chart down. As musicians, especially in the past 15, 20 years, maybe even longer than that, it's once again goes back to the quote, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Now I'm going to bring you up to it. Niggas used to get high and all kinds of shit, all the way back to George Clinton. We'll start with them days, all the way back to George Clinton. Before that, back to Miles Davis. Before that, back to Ella Fitzgerald. Before that, back to what's this woman's name? Beautiful woman. She ended up moving. Josephine Baker. Back before that to Memphis Minnie. You understand what I'm saying? All the way forward, all the way past Shaka Khan, all the way past Prince, all the way past many others that have come and gone. It's always been sex, drugs, and rock and roll. So let's not just send it in and say, well, Puff is the worst of the worst of the worst. Well, y'all got 100 years worth of history from different music genres that always inclusive to black. Frankie Lyman died with a motherfucking heroin needle in his arm in the streets of Harlem. Do you understand me? Frankie Lyman died with a motherfucking heroin needle in his arm. This is one of the kids that done traveled the world, sung every goddamn where, whatever, made it to the. They made a movie about this with Lorenz Tate. Go watch it. Why the Fools Fall in Love. I believe that's the name of it. Just put in a biography of Frankie Lyman. That's all you gotta do. Put in a biography of Frankie Lyman. Jazz musicians, all these motherfuckers were addicted to worse shit than Puff was. We talking about these niggas were addicted hardcore to heroin. You understand what I'm saying? Miles Davis had one of the worst heroin problems that you would ever imagine. And he told motherfuckers about it. Same thing with Josephine Baker. Same thing with a lot of these musicians. They had heroin problems specifically. Not cocaine, heroin. All right? So this is for y'all that don't. That's why I say these people, they don't know nothing about the music industry. They don't know nothing about the history of the music industry. The only thing they're good at is regurgitating motherfucking tweets and shit. Now I give you emphasis on the tweets. So Puff being a drug addict ain't nothing fucking new to us. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, what the fuck? But the thing that stuck out to me, they said it brought on his creativity. Now, usually these motherfuckers that most people y'all have seen historically that create music, they'll smoke one, drink something, whatever. That put them in a mood and that's enough. Well, for certain artists, that wasn't enough for them. Old Dirty Bastard is an example of that. Juice World is an example of that. There's so many that are example of that. You understand what I'm saying? And so if you quote in and you say, well, Puff was on drugs, these are the most terrible. No, listen, there's hundreds of these motherfuckers that do more than Puff do. I've seen some of these rappers literally sitting in their car like that. The niggas are just taking pictures. Y'all don't care about them. No, because everybody want a piece of the chief. It's always like that. Everybody always want a piece of the chief. So there's a lot of rappers that have been getting higher than giraffe pussy for years. Before then, peace God. Before then, it was jazz musicians. They not just on that. That's exactly. They just not on the front line. But if you do your history, guys, make sure y'all double tap the screen and hit the like button. We got over 130 people in here. There's only 33 likes. What am I saying wrong here? What am I saying wrong? So if you're not here, listen, if you're not here to fuck with me, please log off my shit. All this spying shit and running back, telling motherfuckers other stories and shit. You's a real bitch ass nigga for that. Like, let me tell y'all something real quick, and I'll go back to what I was talking about. We got this bevy of suck ass niggas that fuck around over there with Tisa Tales and all these fucking plastic vloggers. That's what I call them, plastic vloggers. You know, they always got the monotone octave in their voice. Hi guys, how are you doing? And yay, and everything's happy and yay. So their followers, because I talk about these sucker bitch ass niggas that are unexperienced. You understand what I'm saying? These motherfuckers, they go from page to page like waves of fucking roaches invading people's houses and shit. So they came on my motherfucking house. I got my motherfucking spray. You understand what I'm saying? I had my spray. I see you get back, motherfucker. Shit in the mother. Hit him again. I kept hitting them, motherfucker. I hit them. Esa puñeta, cabrón. Hit them again. You understand what I'm saying? You got to keep hitting them motherfucking roaches. So these motherfucking roaches keep coming over here and they get mad. Bitch, I don't give a fuck what you like. Once again, you get one of these crazy motherfuckers in. Let me tell you something. That's somebody right there that's got a real mental problem. That's somebody, see the one that says Joy Luck? I don't like your language. Who gives a fuck what you like? Bitch, nah. The fuck are you? Like, it's even they be writing shit like that. I'd be like, bitch, nah. Like, nobody give a fuck what you talking about. That's what I be trying to tell y'all. They be really thinking like they matter. Like, nigga, you don't matter. Anyway, it's fucking crazy mentality. Like they special. You understand what I'm saying? Like they matter. I don't like the way you, bitch, I don't give a fuck. I hope you don't like that either. That's why I be tripping. You know what I'm saying? That's why I be tripping. You understand what I'm saying? God damn. Be the motherfucker. Listen, you want to make that shit compound, donate 100. This is how you do it. If you're going to write a statement like that, say, I don't like your language, then drop $100 in this motherfucker before you say it. that will entice me not to curse. You just come in here as a random motherfucker. Bitch, get the fuck out of my motherfucking chat room. Bitch came back with another fake profile. What a loser motherfucker. What a loser motherfucker. The motherfucker came back. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, peace, Jennifer Graff, what the fuck. She was with the bitch. Okay, I got it. She was with the bitch. The bitch Jennifer was with her. Now you see what I'm talking about. So anyway, these motherfuckers, they'll come into your shit and like if you gonna come in and talk some shit or interrupt, at least drop $100 in this motherfucker. That shit right there will give me, you know what I'm saying, inspiration not to say some funny shit. But if you sitting there, bitch, and you just talking randomly and I don't know you, bitch, I don't give a fuck about you. You bitch, find a bridge. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, find a bridge. You know what I mean? Especially a non-name. And that's what it be. Like I told you, you got a lot of people that are fans of different motherfucking bloggers or whatever, so they feel like they fighting for their favorite blogger, but really what it is, they're fighting for a form of feminism that's even affecting women. And that's what I want to talk to you ladies about in a few before I want to end this out. Ladies, y'all stop going with the sisterhood of the big bats and traveling thoughts of America. Most of them bitches that's involved in that shit, they ugly for one. Don't nobody want them. You understand what I'm saying? Another thing I find unique about them, most of them are over 30, 35, 40 years old. And when they walk up and tell another woman she's pretty, it's usually associated with her being on camera and having reach. Most of these women are not going to walk up to a random woman and say, you know what, you're beautiful, especially Black and Latin women. You understand what I'm saying? They very rarely walk up to another broad unless it's associated with something that's going to benefit them at the end game of it. So for that little light-skinned gal, when them bitches is down there and they tell you how motherfucking pretty you are, let me give you an example. And niggas know what I'm talking about. Entonces, ¿sabes? Para la gente dominicana, tú sabes, pero tú tienes las mujeres pelo, el pelo, right? So Dominican girls, they'll go get their hair cut or whatever, right? And I've heard this a million fucking times. And some Black girls, when they go to Dominican girls, to get their hair cut. And sometimes the African chicks will do this too. But more notoriety, it's usually Latina girls that do this shit. But especially las mujeres las negritas, tú sabes, pero el papá dominicano, tú sabes, and sí, tú sabes, no. So what they'll do is, like the bitch will cut your hair, right? You'll tell the bitch, yo, take off an inch. The bitch will take off 2 inches. And then she'll take it off and flack it in the back. So where it hangs, but it hangs like it's like French hang shit. I don't know how to explain it. Where it comes down almost like in a V type shape or whatever. They'll take that V type shape and then right when it gets to the V, they'll clip it so they'll have this asymmetrical look or whatever. But what they've done is they've shaved off inches off your head because that bitch is jealous of you. And she'll look at you after she finished chopping your fucking hair shorter than you wanted to. You understand what I'm saying? Fucking up your shit. She'll turn around and look at you. She'll be, okay, mommy, that's gonna be $150. You look great. And that bitch will send you out there knowing you don't look your best of your best because that bitch was jealous of you. So the same hoe that was sitting there the whole time telling you was pretty. Watch out for bitches to be telling you pretty all the time because a lot of times that really means, bitch, I do not like you in New York. You understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell you. Like, bitches, I done seen that a million times. Bitch be like, you so pretty. And that'd be the same bitch that hit her with a wine bottle later on that night. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, you do what you want to do, though. You know what I'm saying? You know New York, right? You know our city. You know what I'm saying? You've been here for 3 weeks. You know the whole city. You know what I mean? You do your thing. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck I'm helping that bitch out for? For real. Anyway, long story short, right? Brenden Paul. Oh, let me continue reading about him. I was talking about some other shit. What was I talking about? Can somebody line me up? Because that motherfucker got on my nerves right there. They come in here to try to. Yes, I was talking about my roach spray. Yeah. So you got to get them motherfucking roaches out your way. Fucking roaches. As you sit here today, are you indebted to Sean Combs? Good experiences. This is attorney still asking Brenden Paul. As you sit here today, are you indebted to Sean Combs? Good experiences for the most part. No further questions. Sidebar before you direct. That's all they need to know. That's all they need to know. And that's crazy to me. Did you know what was happening at Wild King nights? Still, objection, rephrase. Were you there? Paul says no. What did you think the $5,000 was for? Objection, sustain. Did you give, and this is assistant U.S. attorney, did you give Mr. Combs $5,000 in cash in another context? No. You said you wouldn't work for a criminal, but you bought drugs from Mr. Combs. Yes, more than 5 times, less than 10. Yeah, that ain't. For the way Puff moved, let me tell you something. Ain't nothing for Puff to be in 5 different cities in 2 days. I know that for a fact. You're the first one I stopped for in at least 2 weeks because it's too serious to keep listening to frauds and shit talkers. Real talkers are fresh and keep doing your thing. BMX already. BX, what's going on, baby? You already know, man. Ford, what's happening, man? Castle Hill, all y'all crazy ass niggas over there. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my homegirl Chrissy, man. RIP, man, motherfucking. Oh man. RIP Steph Chrissy, man. For real. For real. I'm sorry about that, y'all. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. Yeah, shout out to the X, man. Y'all make sure y'all double tap that screen, hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit up that cash app, $ STRINGERBELL80. I wasn't born in the Bronx, but the Bronx, since I was, 16, has been part of my life. You understand what I'm saying? In intimate ways. Stories regurgitating and talking about. Since I was 16, the first time I ever heard Big and motherfucking I heard Big. I told the story before. I'll tell it again. First time I heard Big and Craig Mack back to back, literally, it was on Third Avenue and the projects over there. You know what I'm saying? Now I don't have the trial script from the day, baby. What I'm reading is tweets right now. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm gonna read them from multiple places. But pretty much the tweets, you can tell if they're all similar to each other. This is the key that you'll know you're basically talking, because what they're trying to do is, a couple of the people that are up in the courtroom, they're trying to act like they the sole providers of everything that's going on. And I think it's very unfair. And I think New York media, high-end media, will be very much looked at when this trial is over. You motherfuckers were very strategic in picking out motherfuckers in that courtroom to talk to. And none of those people were from the New York City tri-state, because you know the reaction you would have got. And the reaction you would have got from the New Yorkers is, well, I don't know yet. That's the average New Yorker. There would have been some of these extremist women or whatever. But then at the same time, you need someone that can articulate. And that's one thing that California, I'll give it to them. They don't have it. Depending on where you're at in California, for the most part, you'll have people. There's like 3 different California accents. You know what I'm saying? There's the one y'all hear. Like some shit like this. Yo, my cousin Stacy, cuz. Don't make him come back over here. Stomp all of you busters out. You heard me, cuz? You know what I mean? You got that type. Then you got this other type, like, oh my God, I don't know. It's so wonderful. It's so great. And it's like, we were like, whoa. We were like, whoa. We were like, whoa. That's T. Satells. You understand what I'm saying? Want to be Valley, but probably grew up around the coast some goddamn where couldn't quite afford the Valley. But right, you might have grown up around Rancho Cucamonga or some shit like that. Anyway, then you got the third type. The third type is the ever-discerning hippie. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the motherfuckers like, yeah, man, I know, man. Listen, we're just going to go with Calabasas this weekend. And a lot of times they're multimillionaires. We're just going to go to Calabasas this weekend, man, take out the cell. You know what I mean? Just riding around with it. You got to understand this. So I don't like the fact that, like, they pick these personalities over New Yorkers. And I'm going to keep saying that shit because the courtroom is in New York. What are your thoughts about pimping? I don't know. We should have pimped your mama years ago. And, the bitch, she just wouldn't give up. That's my thoughts about it. You know what I'm saying? And look here, man, let me tell you something. Tell your girlfriend, Cleveland Roberts, since you want to make fun of my hat and my skin tone, right? Let me tell you something, Cleveland Roberts, real quick. Tell your girl this winter when she out there and she's standing on that corner, tell that bitch to rub her hands together real tight. She gonna keep warm. You understand what I'm saying? Tell her stomp her feet, rub her hands together. She gonna be all right. You understand what I'm saying? On pimping. You understand? Shit, you won't be funny, nigga. Get the fuck out of my motherfucking shit. You know what I'm saying? Get the fuck up out of my shit. Tell that bitch rub her hands together. Just because you came in and try to play it, I can't let you stay here now. Because then the other niggas that think they could do that. Nah, you gotta go. You know what I'm saying? You should have came in respectfully. Guys, make sure y'all double tap that screen, hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit up the cash and support the channel. All right. And also down below, there's products that you guys can purchase, and make sure y'all do that. If y'all looking for the cash app, it's right under Jalen Sisson. He always helps me out here. You know what I'm saying? We ain't had nobody jump nothing in, but we're going to keep going for I'm going to go for another hour for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot to break down here, and I don't want to skip too much. So they say then, this is when the guy comes in or whatever. But he says, how do you feel about Mr. Combs? I read that. It's complicated. No further questions. No recross. And thank you, Mr. Paul, you may go. And that was the end of it. So I don't know what devastating fucking testimony they thought Brenden Paul was going to bring in today, but this definitely wasn't it. If anything, at the most part, hold on one second, y'all. If anything, at the most part, what he did was he really answered some of the procuring questions. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, pretty much. I mean, that's what they. Oh shit! What up, brother? What up, brother? You already know. You know what I'm saying? What up, brother? Anyway, yeah, man. I mean, I honestly and truthfully don't believe that he actually helped along in the trial, helped in the prosecution's case at all. If it's me and I say that he helped out with the defense today. And that's why they didn't want to recross his motherfucking ass, because he might have, you know what I'm saying? He might have dipped in. What I'm saying, the prosecutors didn't want to recross him after they had cross examined him by the defense today with Brian Steele, who I like to call Steel Blanket. You know what I'm saying? And the reason they didn't want to do that, in my personal opinion, is because of all the answers he gave right there. You understand what I'm saying? That's the only time you would take the advantage to recross a person and prove, because it was like, damn, this ain't turned out like the way we wanted it to. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I will agree, and I'm gonna say, what's up, y'all? I'm gonna say it again. You understand what I'm saying? Puff, if you do come home, nigga, we gotta sit in the room and talk to you. We gotta talk about some of this shit. Cause nigga, you had us around for years and you was doing all this motherfucking skate. You skating over here, skating over there, getting hotel rooms, sending bitches money through Ubers and all that shit. I need some questions answered. Cause the team was out here. We like, God damn, son, how we gonna get this Blippy sandwich? Let's get this McDonald's card. Nah, nigga. You was doing that shit the years we was around too. So we gotta sit down and talk, Puff. You understand what I'm saying? Now, to my comrades, y'all know how I am. Y'all know some shit I done said before. But I'm just saying, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Nigga. You know what I mean? So, you know what I'm saying? We keep that between us. But my point is, you know what I'm saying? Nigga. You know what I mean? This nigga was giving 100,000 here, 200,000 here. Here's 30,000 for the hotel. And the team is getting peanuts. Nigga, at the very least, you could have gave us a Christmas bonus and been like, here, make sure the niggas on the team, they got 8,000, 10,000. Listen, look, let me tell you something. Some of the brothers that came through our team on our segment of the team, I got to speak up for us. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. And y'all can cuss me out later. But some of these guys were going back. I was going back home to Connecticut. All right? Connecticut. I'm going back home to the shoreline. It's beautiful out there. The water, I could drink it out the fucking ocean if I wanted to, which I wouldn't. Meebo's and all that shit, but I could if I wanted to. My point is, it's clean out where I'm at. I'm going back home to a condo. I was living pretty good. Some of the guys that we were working with, not all specific, but some of the guys we were working with were going home to dire straits in multiple different boroughs across in New York City. You understand what I'm saying? And they could have used that money. Not as much as me, but them kids could have used that money. You know that, and I know that. So the way I'm looking at it is, if back in 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8, which would have been the years when niggas was struggling with money-wise the most, nigga, we was helping promote the albums. What was them bitches help promoting? Pussy? You had to make it make sense. Look, I'll say it to you again. We were the facilitation of your album. I'm not joking. I'm just basing facts here. We were facilitating further sales of your albums. But you had a failed artist up in there that couldn't sell no albums, and only facilitation she was transparent was her fucking vajay. I got to have some motherfucking answers, nigga. You wasted my time and her time. You understand what I'm saying? So outside of that, nigga, I'm gonna be right. We love you, nigga, but you got to answer some motherfucking questions. They only locked him up because he wasn't going to start a political party. What they locked him up if we had been. This is the thing. He wanted to start the political party, and this is why I gotta tap in with what Trump had said recently with question with, do you think that you'll give Diddy a pardon? And when he was asked that question, right, he responded, he said, well, I don't, I have to be honest here. He said some pretty mean things. And me and him used to be friends at one time. Trump, you ain't tell him how long y'all were friends. How long y'all been friends from? 24 years. Actually, 28. 28. Ain't that right? 28 years. And up to that point where the media and certain individuals within the liberal parties started convincing Puff, because, traditionally, they always said, I'm going to keep these niggas dating. I'm going to keep these niggas voting Democratic for the next 40 years. Well, that came true. And he did. And a lot of people, they don't want to get away from, that Democratic edge or whatever. And based on the fact that Puff was for the people, regardless of the nasty shit he was doing, he was for the people. They've been friends for 28 years. I'll say it one more time. I don't know what part they don't get. They've been friends for 28 years. So anyway, long story short, Puff said, and I want to paraphrase a little bit, but he said Trump would be the worst thing that would happen to this country, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, blah, 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 blah. He said a little minstrel stuff, but he was doing it on behalf and back of endorsing a party, which I think he thought, and many of the country, including myself, for a minstrel moment, thought that Trump's involvement, even though he wasn't directly saying anything about niggas, they thought that his involvement in politics was reconstructing a lot of these anti Black and minority groups. And to a certain extent, they were. But to his credit, Trump turned around and put these same motherfuckers on a terrorist watch list. Trump know who every last one of these motherfuckers is. What's going on, Kenfolk? You know who every last one of these motherfuckers is. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what Trump did in response. So I think Puff was really caught up in a moment of endorsing. I don't never recall him calling. He ain't never called Trump, be like, yo, fuck that nigga. And Trump know his damn self. Trump did talk shit about people before. The next 10 minutes later, be like, all right, tell that motherfucker come in. Trump's from New York. Y'all don't realize that. Trump's from Queens. He's from Jamaica Estates. You ever seen the movie Belly? Remember where Ox was living, the Jamaican man? He said, what I want to deal with? That dude, that's Jamaica Estates. Hold on, let me reply to this real quick. Diddy is just getting his karmatic death. You know what I don't like about niggas like you? A nigga like recreational parks, right? First of all, you got a weird name, you have your picture attached to it, so I already know you a sucker bitch nigga. Never mind that. The reason I don't like niggas like you is because you esoteric motherfuckers always want to acquire something to the divine until it's your judgment. See, what I find, and I've always found in society in which you have to watch out, this goes all the way back to the days when people had pitchforks and tiki talks, right? Pitchforks and tiki talks. The motherfucker that's pointing his finger the most is usually the one that's the most guilty. The one that's pointing his finger the most usually has something that they've done in their background and they won't let the crowds know. You understand what I'm saying? So if you don't understand what I mean, you have a lot of different bloggers that be here on YouTube all the time. And what they do is they try to project to you what their notion is of what's going down versus on what is actually going down. So when a motherfucker right in here, he's getting his karmatic debt. Bitch, we don't even know you. For all we know, you could have just finished touching some kid your damn self. You could have woke up this morning and smacked your chick. You understand what I'm saying? You watching me right now. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm looking at your channel right now. You know what I'm saying? You've been here for 15 years and got 2 subscribers. 15 years and got 2 subscribers. So I know you ain't on nothing. You understand what I'm saying? I know you're not very smart. Because a nigga been on here for 15 years would have known at some point or another, nigga, you can make money off this shit. You would have been and had your page monetized. What you been doing? Karmatic death. It's like, to me, when you get people that talk like that, you have to watch these people. Because these people are the dangerous ones. These are the ones that are the ones you really need to keep a microscope under, outside of Puff, if you're going to say that. Because these people are dangerous. See, there was a guy called Malachi York, right? Let me tell you about these motherfuckers that talking this esoteric shit. I'll give you 3 examples. There was one called Brother Polite, right? Brother Polite used to say that shit, and the karmatic death. And what we have to do as a people is we have to eradicate and discriminate the situation, and eradicate and situate and execute, and this, that, and on the third. And I'm on 125th Street now with the on, you know what I'm saying, and the whistle on my head, and I'm on for the people and all that. Hold up, what you say? You say you will give me a Rolls Royce? 4 weeks later, hey, what's up, y'all? This is Brother Polite. You know what I'm saying? This is the Rolls Royce Diaries. I'm about to head over to this shop real quick. Hold on, y'all see how me turning this corner with this Rolls Royce? Y'all see the Rolls Royce, right? Y'all see the Rolls Royce? That was him. Before Brother Polite showed up, it was a movie called Car Wash, right? I watched this movie as a kid. It had already been out in the theaters and all that shit by the time I had seen it years ago prior to that. But I watched it for the first time over my people's house one time. It was my uncle, and he was watching it. And there was a character that was in the what's the name? It was a character that was in the movie. His name was Daddy Rich. He was played by Richard Pryor, right? And Daddy Rich basically he ran a scam. He was a scam preacher, basically, and he would sit on talking about how he was holier than thou and he would help the people. He had 3 girls along with him, you know what I'm saying? I forgot what their names was. I'll just give him that. He said, but not know everybody say nothing wrong about the Jones sisters. And the Jones sisters was kind of like his backup or whatever. They were part of a group called Sister Sledge. I think that's what their name was. And they were real life singers. And so it was funny because there was this one dude in the thing. His name was Abdul. Now y'all probably know him as an actor, the same actor in Minister Society, Bill Duke, that played the cop that said, "You know you done fucked up, right? You know you done fucked up." Legendary actor. And so during the movie, Bill Duke calls him out. He said, "I don't see you saving nobody but yourself in your own pockets." You know what I'm saying? I see through your hustle. And he called him out. You know what I mean? And Daddy Rich, what he did, he smoothed it over with the people because all the people was listening to him. And I always remember the guy that was a shoe shiner. He said to Daddy Rich, ever since I started listening to you, I bought me a new Cadillac and I got a new home. I said, wow, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these people are listening to Daddy Riches online. You understand what I'm saying? And these niggas are coming in the form of spirituality because the whole time Daddy Rich's thing was he was a spiritual man, but you could tell he was doing dirt. So anytime you run into these esoteric spiritual motherfuckers, another one is Malachi York. He brought people all the way down to Atlanta, Georgia, put them down there and started molesting the girls down there and shit. You understand what I'm saying? I'll give you another one. And I'll give you this one, a white one. Jim Jones from Jonestown, the leader of Heaven's Gate. You always have religious figures that really are the worst of the worst and do the worst crimes if you really pay attention to it. Like a regular criminal, right? Most regular criminals got boundaries. You understand what I'm saying? And if you don't apply by those boundaries, other criminals will check you for it. You know what I'm saying? Even to this day, you know what I mean? So like, say for example, right? Niggas see you robbing an old woman. There's going to be some niggas out there to stomp the fuck out of you for robbing that old woman. Niggas see you out there and you fucking taking advantage of sexually assaulting a chick. There's going to be niggas out there that's going to catch you doing that and they're going to stomp the fuck out of you and they're not going to hesitate with you. You don't believe me? Go Google it right now. You'll see prime examples of it. I just saw a video the other day where a dude beat up this white kid, got beat the fuck up for sneaking in this man's son's bedroom. Y'all see that video? He lumped that motherfucker up as he should. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I'm not the 100% kid like her. You understand what I'm saying? Even though I got a niece in there, I can't stand them little motherfuckers. But I'll tell you this much, what you ain't gonna do, you ain't gonna ever fuck with a kid in front of me. Because if you do fuck with a kid in front of me, you understand what I'm saying? Don't worry about the police getting there. You better be worried about the ambulance coming. Because I'm gonna be hitting you with something. It ain't gonna be my fist. I'm gonna be hitting you with something. Motherfucker like that deserves to be in pain. Break that motherfucker's legs, ribs, arms. You understand what I'm saying? Jump on the motherfucker like a WWF wrestler if you got to. Those are the worst of the worst motherfuckers. My opinion. Now, I want to read what this one K-Dog said. Regardless, unless they got him with underage, anybody's there's no excuse. But if true, I would like a refund on all Sean, Joy, and Velour. Man, shut the fuck up, nigga. Go jump in the river. You sound stupid as fuck. It always be these dumb motherfuckers. You can tell who didn't graduate high school in the chat room. Everyone's surprised by Tyler Perry, Kurt Franklin next. Why do y'all like y'all gotta get out? See, that's the thing I'm talking about right there. Marky, I fuck with you. You've been here enough times. Y'all gotta, that's the whole thing. Y'all keep trying to tell y'all. I'm gonna read this shit some more in a minute. But I gotta teach y'all some things again. Let me teach y'all something. It's called conditioning. Okay? Let me give you a definition. Let me help you guys out. Because I love you fuckers, but you're stupid as fuck. A lot of you. You know what I'm saying? Diggy ain't dragged him to the house. That's like signing the contract and getting mad because you ain't read the fine print. You crazy. And Dre, make sure you hit the Cash App, man. Support, man. I'll be reading you bros shit, man. But listen, y'all gotta hit them dollars, man. What's wrong with y'all? Y'all just want to see women come up? I think that's what it is. I think black dudes just like to see women come up. They don't like to see other men come up. I hope that's not the case. All right, hold on 1 second here. Social conditioning. See, most of these motherfuckers, they can't tell you shit like this or even point to shit like this off the cuff because they're pretending that they're intelligent. Reading tweets and shit like that ain't intelligent. Regurgitating what you heard in the courtroom ain't intelligent. What happened to the girl that Diddy supposedly adopted from off the street? I don't know. This is not a T channel, so goodbye. Yeah, I won't fuck with you, bitch. I don't know you. Anyway, social conditioning refers to the process where individuals are molded to think, feel, and act in ways that are generally accepted by society or specifically social groups. This process shapes behaviors, beliefs, and values through various influences like family, friends, media, cultural norms, and can be understood as the training that shapes our responses in the world around us. Would y'all like me to read that one more time? You motherfuckers this is what's happening to y'all. Social conditioning refers to the process where individuals are molded to think, feel, and act in ways that are generally accepted by their society or specific social groups. This process shapes behaviors, beliefs, and values through various influences like family, friends, media, and cultural norms. It can be understood as training that shapes our responses to the world around us. I'll say it one more time. Inherited, here's a more detailed explanation, as they say. Inherited norms and values. Social conditioning is closely related to socialization, which involves the transmission of social norms, customs, and ideologies, influences. This conditioning comes from a multitude of sources, including family, peers, media, like TV and social media, like TV and social media, and the environment in which one grows up. Don't I say that all the time? You got a whole bunch of black, and the environment which one grows up. I say this shit all the time. I say, listen, your experience, and I say this all the time. I say, you can't sit up here and tell me what white people are like if you didn't grow up around whites. What you're telling me is the whites that you've interacted with since an adult, and do you try to emulate them and copy them and try to act like you're them or grew up with them and it sounds stupid and it looks silly. You know what I mean? Influences. This condition comes from the multitude of sources, including family, peers, media, like TV and social media, and the environment which one grows up. Consequences. Social conditioning can lead individuals to adapt behaviors, beliefs, and even emotional responses that might not entirely be their own, leading to potential internal conflicts or disconnect from their true selves. Let me read that one more time. Social conditioning can lead individuals to adapt behaviors, beliefs, and even emotional responses that may not entirely be their own, leading to potential internal conflicts or disconnect from their true selves. Let me continue. Self-awareness. Recognizing and critically examining social conditioning is a crucial step in understanding one's own motivations, beliefs, and behaviors. And this is what I'm attempting to do for you motherfuckers right now, if you'll listen. One more time. Self-awareness. Recognizing and critically examining social conditioning is a crucial step in understanding one's own motives, beliefs, and behaviors. Breaking free. By becoming aware of social conditioning, by becoming aware of social conditioning, individuals can potentially challenge those learn behaviors and beliefs that are not serving them and choose to self-offer their own paths. I'll give you another one. Social conditioning is a sociological process of training individuals in a society to respond in a manner generally approved by society in general and peer groups within society. The concept is stronger than that of socialization, which is the process of inheriting norms, customs, and ideologies. When Marky Mark said, and I say respectfully, you know what I'm saying? When Marky Mark, no, it goes exactly what you said too. Because what you said up before, Mark, and I'm not yelling at you, just pay attention to what I'm saying. What you said up before was everybody's surprised by Tyler Perry. Kirk Franklin's next. See, that's part of social conditioning. It started out with Puff, and why Puff's shit lasted so long, and I think with the prosecution, is because of pure simple fact they had to drill in every day who the fuck they thought he was in your mind. So that would circumnavigate you guys to think when they present Fat Joe, when they present Kurt Franklin, like you said, or they present Tyler Perry, or they present any of these guys or whatever, whoever's next after Puff, and depending on what happens with Puff, they say, oh, well, this is easy peasy now. This is easy peasy. This is all we got to do. We just present them in front of the niggas. The niggas will do the yelling and the chanting for us. Like you've always done. Like you always done. They talk about the Law of the Man Act with Jack Johnson, very famous boxer back in the 1920s, 30s, I believe. Jack Johnson had a white girlfriend. Jack Johnson used to say, look, he was one of the first niggas with a car. He would pull through that. This is where Kanye get that line. So what you gotta be? You still a nigga in a Benz or something like that. Anyway, Jack Johnson used to speed through towns or whatever. He come back, he said he go $100, and I'm gonna be speeding when I come back, so he go another $100. That's what Jack Johnson used to do. But they tried to get Jack Johnson with that because he would take his white wife, that girlfriend, whatever. And since they had sex in another state and they go into another state or whatever, it was racial reasons behind that law. And that's the whole reason that law was made, basically for Jack Johnson. Behind the cutest social media creates lives on the net, and people will never do or say anything in person. I mean, like, niggas know what the vibes is with me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I encourage you to do your motherfucking studies on me before you come at me like that. You understand what I'm saying? Because the way, like, a lot of niggas think because, like, niggas is pretty or however you want to put it or whatever, that I won't do something to you. Before I was with Bad Boy, son, I was really a bad boy. And even after that, I'm still the same person. I'm stupid. You understand what I'm saying? Like, trust me when I tell you this. And a lot of people be thinking like, oh, he ain't gonna do it. You're right. I'm not gonna do absolutely nothing to you. Nothing. I don't have to. He figured that part out. You know what I'm saying? He figured that part out. I don't know. And that means differently for different people. I don't generally go after girls. You know what I'm saying? Response on what you read, damn. Not one of them had anything to say because it's the exact same truth. They've been socially conditioning these men and these women for the past 10 or 15 years via the school, via social media, and via other different outlets. You understand what I'm saying? Are you saying they're working their way down to the citizens? No, you're here. That is social conditioning. The citizens. You're a citizen. Did you not listen? That's why I said you guys hear what you want to hear. I'll read it for you again, okay? I want you to listen to this more pertinent part. So listen very carefully, okay? Don't try to get it confused. Don't try to, you know what I'm saying, make it more difficult than what it is. Because black people have a tendency. So you mean, nigga, it is what it said. Social conditioning is a sociological process of training individuals in a society to respond in a manner generally approved by the society and the general and peer groups within society. The concept is stronger than that of socialization, which is a process of inheriting norms, customs, and ideology. When you say they got Tyler Perry, now they'll probably get Kurt Franklin. They're going to get Kurt Franklin next. That's when you're bending down to an ideology and you're saying without even recognizing it, one, you're fearful. They're going to get Tyler Perry next. They didn't get Kurt Franklin next. Oh, Lord, we better run. Stay down for the white man. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. And you don't even have to say you're scared. You're saying you're scared. You understand what I'm saying? Now, when you go along with the grain and you sit with, and I hate to say it like this, any of my white people that are listening right now, I live here in Connecticut. I grew around Italians and Greeks all my fucking life. Our state is 37% Italian. Don't get mad when I say this. But a lot of people will pucker up, you understand what I'm saying? Bend over and grease themselves up to be next to white people. You understand what I'm saying? Especially niggas. Especially if you get a nigga. And see, what you're having now is you're having niggas that grew up in 3 or 4 generations of poverty. That's what the niggas don't want to talk about. Mama was poor, grandmama was poor, your parents were poor, you know what I'm saying? And now you poor. 4 generations of poverty, sometimes 3 generations, sometimes 2 generations, depends on who it is. But you got generational poverty. And we're going to have a fucking discussion about that. Generational poverty makes motherfuckers take ambitious turns on shit that they normally wouldn't have fucked with. Well, thank you very much. I wish they supported this motherfucker. I'm about to get up off here because they're not supporting my channel. I don't stay here longer than 2 hours if I don't get no fucking donations or nothing like that. And people be in here all day talking about, yo, you be talking that shit. You know what you're talking about, whatever. Nobody helps me. You understand what I'm saying? The only partner I got on here that help me is probably like 5 different subscribers. I can name them on my hand. I got over 30,000 people that follow me and only regularly maybe 6 people that donate to me. And some people don't like this material. They don't like it put that way. They want to hear the story. They want to hear, yo, I want to see Puff crushed. I want to see him go out. Who's next? Fat Joe. Then let's get the next one out. What they're thinking in their mind, they're clearing things up. They're going to change things for them. No, if you want to change things for you, you need to go after the white motherfuckers that's in the music industry. The white motherfuckers is in the film industry. I was naming stuff about Harvey Weinstein, right? And it's funny because nobody had nothing to say about Harvey Weinstein. I'm like, well, if you ask black women that are in Hollywood, they'll tell you there's even more less than black men. They're some of the last to get work. Same thing with Latino women, which is even less. You understand what I'm saying? Ask Asian people, which is even less. You more profitable to get in a movie if you black or Latino in 2025 than you are if you what's the name if you Asian or Indian. Matter of fact, they don't pick up a lot of Indian people too. No, it's all good. Everybody always say that. This is the first time listening to me. It don't matter. It don't matter. I don't. That's why I don't never really. And I'm not saying you particularly. You could stay here. That's great. I really don't. That's why I usually cut it off here, because what happens is if you allow, and I've learned this with African Americans. And tú sabes, la mente, por un momento, tú sabes, por la gente latino ahí. I learned this with African Americans. Like they usually, generally, if they can get it for free, they like it for free. So what you have to do at some point or another, you have to cut off what you're giving for free. I've given a lot of shows here for free. I gave the whole fucking Jonathan Majors case in person for free here. And I'm talking about I couldn't film inside the courtroom, of course, but I was on it. I was telling people what was going on, everything or whatever. So it's like, it's crazy that, what it really boils down to about anything is the fact that my skin tone, the fact that I speak another language, the fact that I'm half of another culture, or whatever. And I don't get that from Latinos. You know where I get it from? I always get it from Black Americans. Black Americans are very racist, especially the women. The women are some of the most racist women you ever meet in your whole entire life. Trust me when I tell you this. They hate any woman that's from another nationality, but want those women and everybody else in society to worship them. So when you black or Latino, well, black, I ain't gonna say Latino because Latino people donate to me, but if you're Black American, I'm not worried about you not donating to me. I know what Black Americans like. Black Americans like gossip. They like conspiracy theories. They like drama. They like trauma, and they like fighting. None of that goes on in this channel. So since that doesn't happen in this channel, you won't get African American support. They're conditioned now. You know what I mean? They're like robots. So, it is what it is. Yeah, that's peace. That's peace. That's peace. Uh-huh. All right, so I'm somewhere to be later on. So unfortunately, we can't keep the conversation going, but I want to thank all y'all for being here, whatever. Dre, Marky, Mark, Noble, Uptight, appreciate y'all. Cherry, appreciate you. Mike S, appreciate you. Dre, appreciate you. Shantina Petty, appreciate you. Ryan Clifton, Drainer, appreciate you. Drainer, appreciate you. Recreational Pause, appreciate you. Yeah, Vaughn B, already family. You know what I'm saying? Blah. You know what I mean? Denise Hobson, Dre, Denise Hobson, Sonia Rambo, and fuck everybody else. Ain't none of them donate anyway. You know what I'm saying? What's the line emoji about? What am I lying about, bitch? What am I lying about? What am I lying about, bitch? Is that the new one somebody sent you over here? Let me see. Are you black? You probably black. Yeah, she's black. Yeah. The women are the nastiest. If you look, let me tell you something real quick before I get off here. If you're looking at black culture for the worst, you have to look no further than 65 to 70% of the women. They're terrible women. They're 65 to 70%. The other ones are good. But 65 to 70% of them is the only culture I've ever, like, how can you say it, watched or observed that the women are some of the worst women. 65 to 70% of them are some of the worst behaved women you will ever meet in your life. They're very mean. They're calculated fucktards. Don't be around them just minding your own business. They get very jealous if you don't pay attention to them. That's their whole thing. If you don't acknowledge them or pay attention to them, they think they're in society some way or another, that they're running society. It's really just one big dream world for them. Because when you break it down, really what they're doing is they're using the utilization of being with their pussy, of being close to somebody that's white, and they're thinking that's enough to get over. Baby, let me tell you something. The white man will never, ever, I'm gonna tell you to your face, will never, ever replace you over their own women. And you can believe that all of us, especially the ones that grew up in the ghetto. You're not even like me and spent your time in the suburbs when you was rearing. Most of these motherfuckers is from the ghetto to act like that. That's what I notice all the time. So yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm not projecting anything. I'm just telling. I don't know if you meant me or them, but like I said, I just really, I don't like my whole. How can I say it? My whole, because they get mad. Like I've had people come on my page and told somebody like this recently, and I didn't talk about this. I'll tell you what I mean. I had a black chick, because that's the ones that usually come in and say shit. The dudes will come in and say shit too, but the ones that write comments after the show is over, whatever, they usually say shit like this. So the other day, I was I forgot what it was. I put it up, and somebody had wrote a comment, and it was like, "Yo, I'm gonna donate to you later on, or whatever, whatever." And then the person tried to sneakily write back to them, and they said, "Don't donate to him. He's gonna go back down to the trial." I was like, "What?" The bitch said, "Don't donate to me because I was going to go back. I was going to use that money and go back down to the trial, meaning Diddy's case." So they didn't want me down at Diddy's case. So I'm figuring this was somebody that's probably down there, because I had been covering the case for 8 months. You understand what I'm saying? Before all those vloggers got there, the past 3 weeks, it would have been me down there. Me and maybe 3 or 4 other bloggers, which wasn't none of those guys you see down there now. That's God's honest, just the truth. You know what I'm saying? The videos on my page to prove the point. Just go to my lives. You'll see it. Scroll. Just keep scrolling. You know what I'm saying? The day the Puff got arrested, me, I was reporting it. You know what I'm saying? First, amongst the first. I won't say the first, but amongst the first. Yeah, that's why I really don't. I really like moving forward. I really don't fuck with them too much no more. I mean, like, there's no reason to. Like the men, for example, most African American dudes, if they see somebody that look like them, the first thing they snap into is, "Oh shit, it must be beef out here. Nigga walking past me. Oops, there go a white man. How you doing, sir?" You know what I mean? That's like their mentality. So I learned to stay away from them niggas a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Especially like the ones down there at the what's the name? I end up killing one of them niggas. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I stay away from them niggas down there at that motherfucker what's the name? Because I'm like, nigga, you can get it out here. Like, you do not know how much in danger you are right now. And I'm trying to be cool about it. But they'll look at me and they'll be like, "Oh, he looks like a night." I'm be like, "No, son, I'm trying to tell you, you said something. Oh, son, niggas is going, like, trust me on this. And it's close." You know what I'm saying? It's so close. You know what I mean? But I'll be letting shit be what it is. But and I mean that in a real way. I will always defend myself. But it's not talking down on African Americans. It's the fact that you just got, sometimes you got to acknowledge what it is. So that's why, like, when I come on here, I don't do too many stories about them. Like, even if I'm sticking up for them, they're not going to donate to you, especially the men. The men are the worst. I always say that, and I'll continue to say that. The men are the worst. They either gossip more than the women, act more like bitches than the women, or they're part of the simp market who only exclusively donates to other women. You know what I'm saying? That's their main concentration, because most of these niggas have been raised by bitches. So yeah, when it comes to African American folks, I never worry about them donating to me. The majority of them won't. You know what I'm saying? So I just, yeah, like, I don't know how to say it. Yeah, my loyalty years are over. Like, I'm out of that business. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm out of that business. You know what I mean? I mean, even if it's slow flow, whatever, I'll just depend on the white man YouTube and Google, since that's what y'all left me with. And they based all this based off the fact of, I don't want to allocate with them and send a nigga up the river to jail. So you want me to advocate with you on behalf of other women to send a nigga to jail, when these are the same group of women that during the pandemic were making fun of me because I was not asking me, "Hey, are you okay? Can we help?" or whatever, like they were doing women that were doing the pandemic. No, they were making fun of me. It must be something fucked up with me while the world is in a motherfucking pandemic right now. This is the mentality of these women. They hate their men. I'm trying to tell you. And so it took me up until the pandemic, and then this lately with this whole trial and everything like that, I really started to see how much these bitches hate their own men. So, you know what I'm saying? And they got other men advocating their language for them online. Like, you know, homie came in here, he said, yeah, they gonna get this one next. Now they're looking forward to seeing niggas go to jail. So who the fuck want to be part of a culture like that? I don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't. It's kind of embarrassing, to be honest with you. It should be embarrassing to them, but they don't care. This is the way, you know, they are. You know what I'm saying? Yes, most of the, yeah, I guess. I don't know what the fuck you wrote there, because you talking about people knowing how to North America speak and understand. You know what I'm saying? Yes, most of I don't know. I don't like your vibes though. I don't know what the fuck that mean. You must think I'm on some racist shit with you, nigga. That don't mean I'm trying to join white supremacists either, nigga. Get the fuck off my channel. You can get it too, nigga. The fuck? Yeah, let me get that clear out the way. Now, we ain't gonna be on no MAGA fucking support and shit. This is my personal shit. If I don't want to fuck with them niggas, I don't fuck with them niggas. It's straight like that. I don't need no motherfucking help. I don't need no white supremacy. Come over here to the dark side, Luke ass motherfuckers. Nigga, I live in fucking Connecticut around a whole bunch of Italians and Greeks. They don't fuck with white Americans like that. So, you know what I'm saying? What make you think I'm gonna fuck with you like that? Nah, nigga. Don't get out here with that racist shit. Like it be niggas. See, that's the type of niggas that be coming in and try to interview those motherfucking goofy ass YouTubers. It be some white folk coming there, whatever. Hey, these gangsters just called you. Bitch, your name is Julius Etzema, and you look like a bitch. What city you live in? You probably live in so small. I told you look like a bitch. This bitch been here for 11 years and got 9 subscribers. You a bitch and a loser. And you at home right now doing the day. So, I mean, you ain't got shit going on. Shut your bitch ass up, nigga. Shut your bitch ass up. Anyway, like I said, poor white trash reigns the YouTube streets too. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole bunch of unemployed, unambitious men at home right now talking to niggas. They ain't even trying to get no money. Guys, make sure y'all hit up the Cash App, $STRINGERBELL80. Don't worry, African American people. I don't mean that to you. I know y'all only exclusively support women. I don't mean that to y'all. Black women, I don't mean that to y'all. I know y'all exclusively support women as well. I didn't mean that to y'all. For anybody else is of any other culture, make sure y'all support the channel or whatever if y'all wish. We gotta stop being in this mindset of we the people and all that. I ain't with that shit no more. Yeah. And people let you know what they think of you. I didn't ask your fucking definition or anything, bitch. And you're ignorant. What am I actually missing here? Let's see what the word self-hatred means here. Let's see what that means. It's that you're so fucking smart, right? You gotta love these people that are online and they offer their own definitions based on their own fucking experiences through life. And what they try to do is they try to put it out and tell you, you're wrong. It's this way, bitch. It's what the fuck I said it is. I don't need no help thinking on nothing. If you're looking for a weak motherfucker that you can lead, you're at the wrong place, bitch. And I definitely don't think you're intelligent. All right. So let's see what this says. Self-hate, an intense dislike of oneself. Did anybody here say that I hated myself? I didn't say I hate myself. If I said I hated myself, I would motherfucker. I just cussed out somebody that was white that was trying to get me to join forces with them. You don't even make fucking sense. So, bitch, do what you do best or do what I wish you would do. Go in the bathroom and go hug a shotgun. You understand what I'm saying? Mossberg to you. You understand? Moxburg to you. Another motherfucker been here for 10 years and got 11 subscribers. 10 years and got 11 subscribers. You think we supposed to listen to you, bitch? Die slow. Bitch, die slow. All right. That ends my conversation, y'all. The niggas are starting to show up. I tell you, that's what they do best. The niggas are starting to show up. No, not you, sir. I don't give a fuck. Fuck all y'all. Peace.